Stay tuned until the end credits for a very special musical guest.
Making pancakes. Making pancakes.
But you know, 12 body.
Making pancakes. Making pancakes.
Welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog, and this is The Real, episode 212 of
Holy
GG's The Mouthful Podcast.
GG!
What?
Yes.
Don't do that again?
212.
Oh,
212.
wow. Oh, wow. We are serial number 212. Those are
Now-
high numbers, sir.
Now, I may be getting ahead of myself, but what are we going to do for episode 420?
Just a little ahead. That's literally a little more than 2 years away,
I
probably.
don't know.
I'm just saying. I'm just
I
letting.
I think we might need some planning on that, actually.
Just saying that. Get ready for that. It needs
Episode
to happen.
Episode 420. Shit, I bet
Episode
Nivel Escondido is our 420
Oh.
already.
Dude, they're
Okay.
like, shit. What was it? Let me see.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
up there already. They're in the
They're like way up there.
Well,
Those
okay,
voices, of course. First off, to my we'll call it the left,
Oh
is
no!
Mr. Dream Twister, aka David Santos. What is up, sir?
I am out the left, I guess. Screw with those right wingers. I am a left, if I even know what that means.
Speaking of right, to
Oh,
my
God.
alt right is Mr. Chaos Reaper, aka Hilberto. What is up, sir?
I'm all right.
Bravo!
Oh,
He just said
love
it. He's all dry.
Yep, he agreed to it. I just heard
According to this, let's go this up to 369.
Oh wow,
369. 369. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of
Wow.
69s.
Quite
That
an
is
orgy is going on over there with those fellas. Godspeed, brothers.
Speed indeed. Oh my god. All right. Well, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. If this is your first time listening, please go to goodgame.rocks. Join the conversation
That
there.
rocks.
And of course, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. What we normally do is first we go into what we've been up to, move on into some various news items, and then finish with our
Alright.
hot topic of the week. This week's hot
This
topic.
week, hot topic.
Stop it.
It's the return of Questions from a Hat.
Turn
Should,
up
should be
the
named
hat
like Questions from
once
Sparrow.
again.
which
I know.
in the end turns out to be that way for sure.
No, we-
Because his
we have
questions
to-
outnumber everyone else.
I mean, this is where the a little bird told me comes from.
a little
the-
bird.
Yo, Sparrow, get it? Jesus Christ!
Ah, nice.
I liked it. Even
Nice.
though I had to catch up and.
I have to kind of explain it, but I'm glad he like.
Nice.
Hey,
Well
he's
done.
just giving us content, all right? And you know what? Shout out to the group because they participated also. We're gonna
Yeah,
be mentioning
no, it
some
was-
names, and
There was a lot of questions out there.
whoever
For
decided
sure.
not to be anonymous, it's too late now because we're gonna disclose your name
Yes.
on the show
In full. No.
In full.
We're gonna
Oh.
provide the link to your Facebook page and everything.
Wow. That's
Some of these
a bit
questions
harsh.
are hot.
But yes, if the question is appropriate enough, perhaps we will include them in include their profiles.
And if they're inappropriate, then we will talk about them in GG After Hours.
What?
Prow, baka, braka, prow.
Boom, chicka, boom, boom.
That's the after show.
Oh, that's right. We need to include chaos in those every so often.
we need to bring. Oh god, we need to bring again
my word.
the Rico Suave of GG After Dark, Doomsane, and do the misconnections again.
Oh, the
And-
misconnections. I missed.
I miss the misconnections. Should bring
So
them
good.
back. You know
We
what? We
should.
probably have a
Just a
clip,
little-
an old clip that we should actually like put there, maybe at the end, so people,
Yeah,
so
people can
know.
know
Or
what we're
re-
talking about. Yeah, because
Yeah,
I think it's
exactly.
been over
Or
100
reminisce.
episodes now. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good stuff.
Always was something.
All right, so let's start the show, guys, with what we have been up to, and we are going to throw it over to Mr. Dream Twister himself. Sir,
Yeah.
what have you been doing?
All right. So I have actually not done much, but I have been, yeah. Because as far as the gaming wise, I honestly haven't been looking at anything else. It feels like Final Fantasy VII just screwed my willingness to play anything else after finishing that. I haven't like I think I played I played Streets of Rage, but that was very short, Streets of Rage 4, and I beat that already. And I'm like, okay, what's next? What's next? So I decided to go back to Judgment. Picking up right where I left off. I'm not starting the game again because I believe I had probably like 15 hours on it already. 10 or 15 hours, and I was still early in the game. I was in chapter 4, and I just needed to review some of the cases because in Judgment it gives you like you can go into your folders and review the cases, and that kind of jogs your memory. Oh, okay, this is what's happening. This is what's happening so far in the game, and so on. Judgment, for those who don't know, is a game from the studio that still develops the Yakuza series. I want to say that studio's name is, of course, I'm blanking out at the moment that I needed it. Anyway, it's
Sega?
published by Sega. It's published by Sega, and I'm trying to look at the logo, but of course the logo is so small I can't even. Oh, jeez, I'm getting old. Anyway, if you guys know the Yakuza series, I think this the whole thing with me wanting to play this game again is because I remember like or I must have seen someone talked about what's this Sony game? I mean, Sony and not Sony game. Sorry, the Sega game that was Shenmue.
Shenmue?
Yeah, Shenmue 3. Yeah, everybody got excited about Shenmue 3. Oh, Shenmue 3 is happening, and then it happened. It got released and splat, went nowhere. So we don't hear anything about the game, and the game wasn't even that great. But I know the modern versions of the Shenmue games, if we can call them that, are basically the Yakuza the games because it has a very similar structure. It has mini games, it has it has tons of drama, and the every now and then you're fight, or in the case of Yakuza, almost all the time you're fighting people in the streets. So Judgment is like a spin-off of the Yakuza series. It takes place on the same place, but except that in this game you are a detective and you are solving a bunch of cases. And I'm not gonna go into a lot more detail than that because this is an older game already. I believe we talked about that in the past. But I've been having a lot of fun with it lately. I don't know why. I know that you started playing it, Mad Dog, and I'm curious to know how far you've got because it feels like the game is picking up for me to where it's like, okay, now I really want to know what's going to happen next. I think the story is grabbing me the way that I like when a game has me wishing that I could play more. You know what I mean?
I don't know how far. Maybe I'm a good. I don't know. I'm probably about the same place where you're at 10, somewhere between 10 to
10
15
hours.
hours. But it's been. I mean, it's a while. Once I put it down, I still have it installed and everything. I just haven't gone back to it because I've been swept up by a bunch of other shit.
Yeah. There's a lot of, and to be fair, the gameplay. If you don't enjoy the gameplay, it's unless you're a story person, you probably are okay with leaving it because I'm not gonna say, oh no, you have to. I mean, the story so far is interesting. I think I know where it's heading, but the Yakuza games are pretty good at giving you a false sense of making you think that you know where things are headed and then taking a turn. So, and I love my reveals and stuff like that. So I'm gonna keep at it. I'm gonna see how far it takes me, because I want to get ready I want to see. I want to see how many Yakuza games I can actually get into before Yakuza, uh, like a dragon or whatever the hell the next Yakuza game is, hits the store shelves. Because that is a completely different outtake. Where you guys probably have already seen video of it. It's not a fighting or not fighting, but it's not you're not real time fighting. It's turn based actually. So I am very curious. But being a continuation of the Yakuza series, I feel obligated to go through the other, to the previous games, and they're not short games. They are quite a long of endurance runs, I would say.
Yeah,
No,
for
but not
sure.
if you not if you enjoy them. The other thing that I did, that's the only thing that I've actually been playing, Judgment. I did watch a couple movies. One of them, Magda has to almost twist my arm to watch it, I guess. But
I'm sorry that I had to
Pulp
twist
Fiction?
your arm to freaking watch something that's awesome, but whatever.
Pulp Fiction?
No,
no,
not Pulp
no.
God
Fiction.
damn it.
You guys haven't tweeted. Believe me, that's gonna. I'm almost.
Don't lie to me.
That you know what? I probably should be. I'm saving that one for episode 420. You know.
You
Wow.
know, Dream, are, are you serious? Because I will hold you to that.
You probably.
And we're going to sit down,
You surely will.
flying like kites, and we're going to watch the goddamn movie.
All right. I guess that's the only way I would enjoy it.
But
No, I'm
no,
kidding. I know it's a good movie. I know it's a good movie. It just I don't know, man. You know what? I think I just don't remember. I'll have to make an effort. I'll have to make an effort and do that. Cause, but what I've actually watched was a movie you were talking about the other day, Mad Dog, and that is Annihilation.
Yes.
I guess I
I,
have
I,
to watch it now.
I
You
you
should,
do.
for sure.
Yeah,
For
yeah, yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. It is. I believe you spoke about this on the last episode, right?
I
I
believe
did,
you
yeah,
did.
because I watched
Because
it. It was a rewatch that I did, and I was like, oh man,
oh,
I need to talk about it. But yeah,
oh,
so
gotcha.
yeah,
Okay,
so the gist has been out there. But what do you think? What was your thoughts of it?
yeah. I liked it. I liked it. It is. It is. It's kind of a weird. It's kind of no. I tell you why. I enjoyed it. It's. If you ask me, should I be watching this movie? I'll say yes. I liked it because I really it had a very nice cast. I did like Natalie Portman on it. I liked all the ladies that get sent out basically to the location. I
Hmm.
probably shouldn't be saying much because I don't want to spoil anything. But it's a little bit. I was expecting it to be a little bit more of a mind fuck after you describe it, but with what I saw, I was like, okay, it is kind of crazy and kind of out there, but it is cool. I had a good time with it. You know, uh, I don't want to repeat what you said last week about it already.
Okay,
I'm just gonna say I liked it and I moved on.
I'm glad you watched it. I was gonna say, I'm glad you watched it. I'm glad you liked it. It is definitely it's just one of those sci-fi films that for me,
uh,
just kind of stick with you. A lot of the stuff that you
yeah.
see, just like it's like these images you've never seen, you never even. It's so alien. It's alien. You know what I mean? It's not. You know what I mean? It's like it's the most alien thing you can think of. Is what's happening in the film.
Yeah.
That obviously has to do with aliens, so that's not really a spoiler. But it's just not your typical what you expect from an alien film. You know what I mean?
So
It's just
aliens,
like
aliens, aliens, aliens.
pretty much.
And let's not forget
Aliens.
aliens. Do you remember some of the actors and actresses on that? Because I sure don't.
I mean, you just mentioned Natalie Portman.
Mm,
Oscar Isaac plays her her husband.
Yeah,
There's a couple other people in there that you probably know. I'm sure you know Tessa Thompson.
Tessa
Um,
Thompson. Yes, yes.
yeah,
I
she's in
like
it.
her pretty much on everything that she's after my introduction with Sorry to Bother You.
Oh
Remember that
yeah,
movie?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry
she
to
was
bother you.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
I'm sure that
Uh,
I've seen her before, but after that movie, I paid attention, and every time
more to
I
her.
see her in the movie, it's like, oh yeah, yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, Jennifer
Uh,
Jason Lee, who's been an actress for a long time. She played the Doctor. Uh, and then Gina Rodriguez, you probably know her from some other
Gina
movies as
Rodriguez.
well.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. So yeah, man, it is. You know what? Oddly enough, and I know it gave me an Aliens meets Ex Machina for some reason kind of vibe. It was
okay,
weird. It
I can
it
see that.
it was interesting. It was it's not the typical the movie that is like completely full of like crazy action or anything like that. It's more it's definitely dramatic and yeah, yeah. Maybe I don't know. I'm not gonna say Avenger. I'm not gonna say horror because it's not like it's scary or anything like that. But it's like you
But it
said.
has
Some of the
horrific
images
moments. Yeah,
are
yeah.
yeah, it does. Yeah, yeah. Some of the imagery, some of the images that you see are they're definitely interesting. That definitely stick with you. I saw it 7. I would say so
Okay.
that's my safe rating. What it can't be any more safer than that. Giving it anything less feels like it feels like a wrong minute of what it should be. It's good. But immediately after watching that, it just and I'm telling you, probably like 10 minutes apart, it made me for some reason want to rewatch Arrival, which is
Nice.
another movie that has to do with
Mm-hmm.
aliens touching down on Earth, but with a wholly completely different vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And I say rewatch because I saw these movies at the movie theater when I heard it was like the most 100% movie on Rotten Tomatoes that I've seen rated, in a long time, and everybody is like, singing all the praises of this movie, and I watched it, and I remember getting out of the movie theater and being a little underwhelmed. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was a good movie, but I didn't understand quite a bit what made it stand out for some reason. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but let me tell you, some movies actually benefit a whole lot from a rewatch
Oh yeah, for
because
sure.
you do get, and I know you tell me this often, and I'm not a person, I don't tend to rewatch movies, believe it or not. I don't know what was it that got me that impulsed me to watch Arrival. I mean, maybe because after watching this one and this one being so weird, I wanted something different that had to do with the same subject. But this movie, watching Arrival for the second time and understanding a lot of the things because I'm paying more attention because I'm in the comfort of my house and I have subtitles on and whatever, uh, or the captions rather, not subtitles. Uh, Dude, it it's I I fell in love with this movie basically. I don't know how it happened. one of those things one of those things where you have a relationship with someone you don't think is gonna work out, but you give it a second try and suddenly like something spark and it just takes off. This is probably one of my favorite movies right now. After watching it again, I
It
need to watch
yeah,
it twice. It is
that's a
what I
shame
do.
'cause I fell in love with it the first time. And I think I actually already seen it more than once. Arrival. It's just it's a visually striking movie. I think
Yes,
it's well written. The pacing
yes,
is it's just great all around. The director is awesome. He's a great visual director, Denis Villeneuve or something like that. He's some French dude. Um, really cool, really cool. So I'm glad going back. So maybe going back to a few other ones will maybe change your mind about certain things.
I
Maybe.
I thought about that same thing, but going to get back to fucking It Follows,
No,
it's
not
just
It
not gonna
Follows.
because I fucking hated that movie.
Fair
And Lost
enough.
in Translation, I'd rather never watch anything again. I'd rather gouge my eyes now. Let's put it that
Wow.
way.
That's
But
don't you think?
I despise those movies because I never understood. Well, it's a whole thing with those two in particular. So we're not gonna go back to it. Definitely watch Arrival if you haven't. It's a movie, dude. I even found it like at some point I was even choking up at one point, and I don't know why because it's not like that's the expertise. It's just like everything is. It's beautiful, man.
It is.
It's awesome.
Yes.
I don't know if it's the visual, the music, the acting, the craziness of the world, when, how the world was acting up, uh, when with the news of the aliens, and to say more will be to start spoiling stuff. So I think I'm just gonna cut it here and say go watch it if you haven't.
Nice.
Now stop the
Nice.
podcast.
Actually, I would. I was going to actually when you posted or you shared that you're rewatching that, I was going to be like, oh man, I should go back to that one. And then I looked, and it's been available everywhere.
Yes,
It's been on Hulu. It's been ever, and now I go to look for it, and no, I have to actually pay to rent it. I'm like, son of a bitch. So I
How
did
did you
not.
not own that movie?
I don't know, because one of the things where if it's something I know I'm gonna go back to, then I'm like I'll do it. But I don't know, for some reason.
Yeah, I guess it's hard to.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's hard. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Dream Twister, Mr. Chaos Reaper. What have you been up to, sir?
It's my turn. It's my turn.
Yes,
It's your turn.
So I don't know if I mentioned before that I started watching Demon Slayer. I think I did. I think I did mention it last week.
Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an anime on Crunchyroll.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yesterday me and my wife had watched 10 episodes out of like the 26 that there are there. Well, yesterday we saw 16 of them.
Oh shit!
Wow.
So we
You're
binge
eating that
watched
shit up.
the shit out of it. That's why there's no stream yesterday, because I was watching anime.
Nice.
And
Sometimes you just got to do that, you know.
Oh, dude, there are some great fight scenes in this show. Oh my!
Yeah.
And the art is just so good. They do use some 3D animation. I didn't notice it in the fights, but there are some moments where they use it. So it's not because there are some shows that use it. Like what is Baki? Baki has some of that 3D animation. Like sometimes it's 2D, sometimes it's 3D, and sometimes the fights they use that 3D animation. It feels like a PS2 era game.
Really? So it's what do they do? Like CGI?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you're watching a video game cutscene. And
Nice.
well, no. Sometimes I mean, some of the
Sometimes
times
it stands out.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Okay.
It's kind of like when they do the 2D animation fights, they feel like the strikes carry weight, and when they go into the 3D, it's kind of like me.
Oh, so it's not it's not quality CG then.
Oh, well, there's another one. There's another one. Something Ashura. Fuck, another fighting anime I was watching, but that one's fully 3D. But that one uses it pretty well. Anyways, this one, as far as I could tell, they don't use it in the fights. Maybe for the effects, unless they're really drawing it like that. But regardless, it looks amazing, and it is so good. You guys don't watch anime at all?
I do.
At
Like,
all.
I know,
I
man.
think that- yeah.
And he watches some weird ones too. So
I
Uh,
honestly
What-
don't.
what are you gonna say,
but it's
man?
not- I don't have it. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say you're right.
Okay, I was gonna
Sometimes
say
they
you're
are
gonna
okay.
argue that, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. What were you saying?
No. I don't watch anime, but it's not because of like I don't have anything against it. Actually, I quite enjoy the animation and the ones that I have seen. But I guess it might like if I sit down, let's say for example, with my wife, she's not gonna watch
No.
anime with me. Yeah. Now I have a niece that she is super ultra into it, and too bad that we're far because every time like if I take her out to let's say different malls or whatever, she will take me to stores that has to do with with anime and Japanese culture and stuff, and she'll start talking to me about all these types of anime, and she'll start recommending me stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's a great. I'm never gonna have time to watch that.
Well, it is bloody. It's not particularly gory, at least. But and
Uh-huh.
there's at least one character that he's annoying, but when he gets serious, like that he's actually finally going to fight, which I think there's like two moments in the 26 episodes, but he's freaking amazing. So I can actually wait for his character development to pay off at some point because goddamn, he can be so goddamn annoying. But it's really good. And it's this is on the first episode, so I'm just the premise of the show is the main character, him and his family, they live in a mountain, and his family gets killed by this demon, and that demon turned his little sister into a demon. So he's trying to turn her back into a human. So he becomes this demon slayer because there's this demon slayer core,
Mhm.
and so he's trying to get a cure for his sister, and it's just so freaking awesome. Mad Dog, if you have a chance to watch this show, please watch it and give me your thoughts on it.
I'm looking at the trailer actually as you were mentioning it, and it looks good. Looks very the animation looks really tight.
It
So
is.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god, it's so good. So if you can, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Other than that, I don't think I've watched any other TV other than that. I didn't watch any movies this week either. Games related, I played more Apex because. Oh, by the way, I didn't make it to level 110. I made it to level 105 on the last battle pass.
Oh, there you
Uh,
go. All right.
I was close. I only missed one skin for the flatline
hmm.
and an emblem. So I'm okay with that. So but as soon as season 5 dropped, I already had the coins from the previous battle pass to buy this one, so I jumped right into it. I also had enough points to get the new character Loba,
Oh,
which
nice. Okay.
she's actually pretty cool. Her L1 skill, she throws this ring, and wherever it lands, you can aim it. Of course, they give you this little arc line. Wherever it lands, she teleports there. And if you press R2 while you're throwing it, while it's flying to its location, it'll drop where you press R2. It'll drop down and teleport you there. So you have some level of control on where you want to teleport. But while you're teleporting, while you're waiting to teleport, you can't do anything. So you have to be careful with that. Not only that, but when you do teleport, there's a delay between you getting to your destination and bringing your gun up. So you can't
Mm.
just drop into the middle of a fight and expect to actually make it out alive. I mean, you may, but you probably won't.
Yeah,
Can you
not if your gun's
can
not
you
up for
telefrag
sure.
with her?
Can you what?
Telefrag when you teleport into the area where someone is and you appear and it destroys whoever's there.
Oh,
Like
like your teleportation hurt someone else.
No,
yeah.
no,
Uh,
Mm.
not from what I've seen. No, I don't think so. And her ultimate is pretty interesting. She sets her staff down and kind of expands into this little light thing, and it covers a certain area. And any item in that area, any items in that area, whether it's guns, armor, attachments, doesn't matter. You can get it through the staff. It's called a black market, and you can pick two items to basically they get teleported to you. there's a visual cue to it. So let's say, and this actually happened. My wife set it in a particular area, right? And we were fighting this squad. And it was me, my wife, and a friend of hers called Ash. No, it's my friend too. So we downed two of them and we killed them. We finished them off, right? The thing was a little bit up in a hill. And while we're looting the people that we killed, I saw something teleport in the direction of the black market.
Mm.
And I was like, what the? And I looked around and like, there's the third player right over there at the black market. So I went over there and shotgunned him in the face. So ideally, you don't want to leave it up for other people to use it. But if you do, you know somebody is, if you see something teleporting, you know somebody's using it.
Yeah.
So
You can use
again,
that to your advantage.
yeah, again, you have to be careful when you're using it because somebody may see it, and it goes like you'll see the like this streak of light of white light that goes towards the black market, so you'll know what direction it's going to. Yeah, and so I've been playing that. I think I'm at Battle Pass level 8 right now. I already did the entire of the first week's challenges, and they added the new quest, which you get this treasure packs daily, right? Which by the game was not entirely clear on this because it kind of tells you like, oh, you get a treasure pack from duos, trios, or rank, right? And ranked. So I thought you get like 3 packs a day. No, you get one. Period. You get one out of any mode, but you get only one. So it's really annoying when you keep opening supply bins and more treasure drops out. Like, well, I can't grab that. I think I'm up to the third one. At number 5 is when the quest apparently actually begins. Some kind of hunt of sorts. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but as soon as I do it, I will be telling you guys about it. Obviously next week.
Nice.
I am liking the new character. I've been maining a lot of Lifeline now. As long as no challenge requires me to play any other character, because I got her like demon skin, her devil skin. She looks fucking awesome.
Really? I need to see that because that was that was the pretty much the only character that I felt comfortable using.
The thing that
last time.
bothers me is that the Doc, the little robot, no matter what skin you have, he always looks the same, and I think that is so fucking lazy. It's the same thing with Caustic and Crypto. Like the Crypto's robot and Caustic traps, they don't change no matter what skin you have. And I think like, come on, guys, seriously, you can like just
Holy shit! I see it now. Yeah, that's a whole transformation, basically.
yes, it's dude, I love that skin. It looks so evil.
Damn. Yeah. What the hell? It's like, wait a minute. What have they done to Lifeline?
Yeah. So I think I actually did I buy that or was that no that was on a battle pass. That was on a battle pass that came out.
Wow.
I played some Monster Hunter World.
Hey,
Yeah.
I had a question. I have a question about like run me when there's a new character
Yes.
in Apex Legends. How do you just jump in it right away and start playing with rank matches without knowing how to use it much, or how do you train basically? How do you learn the skills
Well, to be
of a new
fair, to
character?
be honest, it's just now I started playing rank more. It was this past week that I like, you know what? I see no reason not to play rank. Fuck it, let's go. Maybe one day I'll get one of those cool trails when you're skydiving that you get when you hit a particular rank.
Mm.
And honestly, I mean, my wife she doesn't care which mode I'm picking, so she just jumped into rank, barely knowing the character. Me personally, if I'm playing rank, I try to play for the team. So I usually go with like Lifeline or Pathfinder. Bloodhound is a good choice. The buff they did to Mirage, because Mirage got a buff, is fucking insane. Because I don't know if you remember Mirage, his clones would just run in a straight line.
Yeah,
They don't
that's
anymore.
kind of lame.
they kind of
I
like
know.
run away from you a little bit, but they mimic what you're doing. So if you start
Oh.
strafing, the fucking thing will start strafing too, and that shit gets tricky, man.
Oh, because I guess people were already calling it. They could tell when this one's a fake one because nobody, nobody but the nooblets of newbies
Yeah,
is gonna
nobody will
walk
just start like
into a straight
sprinting in the
line.
middle of a battlefield like that.
Yeah,
And then with
I probably would.
his ult, it used to be that you do his ult, and then all this clones would come up around you, not moving, that won't move or anything, and you would turn
Mhm.
invisible. Now they run around in circles, and then
Uh-huh.
eventually they spread out, and
Oh,
it's a
nice.
shit show, dude.
That's cool. That's cool. I was wondering if wouldn't you be a liability for the for your team? Well, I guess how many in the team? 3, 4?
Three,
Three.
Oh,
squad of three.
3, and one is your wife, which is probably not gonna care. And but the other guy's probably pissed off if you're picking a character that you don't know how to use yet.
Yeah, I mean, when I go into rank, I don't like randoms for that. I do stick to that. Like I'll try to have a party of 3, like my full squad, like two, like my wife and a friend, or just 2 other friends
That's the
before I
best
head
way.
into
Yeah.
rank. Yeah, otherwise I'll just do normal. Because let me tell you, randoms are the absolute worst.
Oh
Man,
yeah. I mean, that's always been.
they don't
Since
respect the dips. They land wherever, or they'll quit while you're choosing a character. Oh, he picked my character. Damn, living. I've seen that so many times, and it's so annoying.
Yeah,
So yeah, I try
yeah.
to have a full squad for rank.
When you start,
Um,
yeah.
and the last buff they did to Mirage is when you're picking, if they down your teammate, so you start picking them up, he turns himself and the teammate invisible.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
cool.
awesome. That's
Yes.
really good.
So now there's 2 characters that while picking them up, they do some kind of defensive move. The first one is Lifeline, that she brings up this shield, which you can use very well if you have the mind for it, because you gotta know which way you're facing before you start picking them up. I think yesterday I went. There was 2 people facing me and the person that was down, so I start picking them up so the shield will come up and they can't shoot at me anymore. That, mind you, this shield has no health. It is. You can't bring it down, so you can shoot it all you fucking want. You're not gonna bring that shield down. It only goes
Yeah.
down if you stop picking up the person or the person gets picked up. So I started using it, and they kept shooting at it. When they started reloading, I dropped the person and brought both of the people down.
Nice.
I think that pretty much covers everything for Apex.
No, you were. Yeah. Yes. We're
Yeah,
good with Apex.
yeah. No, I'm pretty sure that's it. I am having fun. Oh, the map did change. It's the Kings Canyon, but they added more stuff. There's there's these towers called recharge towers
Uh-huh.
that fill up your ultimate. If once you activate the console, you activate the tower. It takes like 5 seconds, and your whoever's standing on the platform gets their ult, so you can get your full squad their ult right there.
Wow.
There's
Nice.
there's 3 places I've seen. I can't remember the name of 2 of them, but the other one is the capacitor, I believe it's called, and there's like 3 of those towers, and you can reuse them as well. So I always try to land there with Lifeline so I can get a care package, see if I can get an epic shield right then and there.
Nice.
Yeah, I did that with a team, and I like nobody went to that place, so I actually got like 4 care packages, one after the other, and everybody had had a purple shield by the end of it.
Nice.
We're still lost, but at least I have that idea now that I can actually do that.
That works. Hey.
Yeah, trial and error. The last, okay, so I played some Monster Hunter, right? They added, I think I mentioned this, that they added the Arch Temper Namiel. I tried it. We tried. Me and Dark went in there like, let's try this shit. We know that the rewards may be useless. That doesn't matter. We need this kill, right? Just to say that we killed it.
No, not even close.
It was all bad. It was all
Right.
bad.
Wait, you killed them and
No,
the rewards were
that's
bad? Oh.
destroyed me. So a fight starts. I put in my Rock City mantle, which I don't get any knockbacks, and the you get earplugs, so the roars doesn't affect you. And I'm like, increases your defense, and I'm like, let's go. I think I ran her into the wall. Does a decent amount of damage, knocks her down. We do more damage. She gets up and spits water at me. Now, mind you, I have no knockback, so it hit me twice, and I died.
Wow. Damn. Why'd even try at that point?
Damn.
Because there has to be a way, and she has a move that she'll one shot you if you don't dodge it. Like you have to either do the big dodge or get really far away from her. I mean, I call her. I think she's a female. I don't fucking know, but
Until we can prove it otherwise, we're gonna go with female.
yes.
You know what? I will stay not knowing. I'm fine with that. I don't want to find a big sloppy monster cop.
We tried it. The first time we tried it, we only tried it once, but then the second time we tried it, we probably gave it a shot like 5 or 6 times, and just no way, man. One of the times we actually lasted a solid like 15 minutes that were completely wasted because we died.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but holy shit, that fight is intense, and she hits like a truck.
Damn.
So that is a challenge that we still have yet to overcome.
To overcome it, wow.
So that's pretty much all I did in Monster Underworld, was just get bitch slapped left and right. And I did play some Warframe, which the Nightwave Season 3 came out, which I will talk more about that later on in the news. So yeah, I played some Warframe.
and
More to come on that.
Yeah, more to go on that. Stay tuned.
I feel like your part should always end at and Warframe, of course.
And of course, Warframe. That's awesome. Like it was,
Cool.
like it's a period, you know.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
the way you close
yeah,
it.
I guess that's how you finish. Well, I actually played several games.
Look
this,
at you.
week. I know. I don't know where this came from. It's just so weird. The first one I want to tackle, I want to mention, is unfortunately very disappointing, and that was Undertale.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
I want to bet that any of the games you played, I have never played.
Undertale.
That you have Undertale, yeah. Do you remember Undertale, right?
I do know.
Yes, I'm thinking
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
how the hell did you play that? And now I remember you probably played on the Switch.
No, I explained that on the PlayStation. Yeah.
That a port for PlayStation.
Yeah, it is. I think it is on Switch as well, but I played it
Yeah, I believe so.
on PlayStation 4, and it's okay. It's I don't know. I guess I swear I had to put a good. I don't even think it's that long a game, but I had to put a good 6 hours in it, and I was just like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not having fun here. It's a lot of. It's just I didn't know what I don't know what it is. At some point, I was like, why was this such a beloved game? I don't understand. Just like
Still, yeah, it still is. I think I think it's the old schoolness of it.
no,
back
I
when
mean,
the-
if
It's more than that. And I
it's
haven't
got to be
played
more
it.
than that. It's got to
I
be more
haven't-
than that.
no,
Considering
Well, I didn't finish.
Okay.
It has to do with because when our game was released was when that when a lot of indie darlings were starting to come out. I think Shovel Knight got released around that area. Also there was a lot of those games that was bringing up the old school nostalgia, but like this game had a completely different twist because correct me if I'm wrong, but if I recall correctly, you could play this game without fighting anything.
Yes.
yeah, and I was you could just walk out of every battle.
Yeah.
And or if you're in there, you can also fight them, or you can do other
Yeah.
things. And that's what I was doing for the most part. I was like, it was weird guard that was also a dog, right? So then it says an option to act, right? So I act, and then what I do is I can pet the dog, and suddenly the thing is like all jumping around me and excited and all this stuff. But this is a battle we're in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's weird. And then of course you can get out of that, get out of whatever, and move on, whatever the case may be. But that I think that's where it kind of just lost me, and it was just like, and it was, I guess it was fairly interesting at first when I was like, oh, that's a cool little aspect. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I just didn't know what the point was, and I'm 6 hours in, going, I still don't know what the point is here, and I'm not really having fun. You know what I mean? I was like,
Yeah.
it's there's one character who was kind of humorous. It was a skeleton
Mhm.
or something like that who
Yeah.
kind of makes you
Everybody
laugh a
talks
little
about the
bit.
skeleton. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's cool. You know what I mean? But it's, again, it just, I don't know, dude. And I couldn't finish it. I could
Sans?
not finish it. Huh?
Was it Sans?
I don't know. There's a short, stubby one and a tall,
Yeah,
skinny one. The tall, skinny one. He
You
was
play this
uh,
also,
that's
Chaos?
Papyrus or something like that. Papyrus.
yeah. A papyrus or something like
No,
that.
you know
Yeah, yeah.
what's funny? I haven't played a second of that game, but I am an avid watcher of game theory.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay. I
yeah.
gotcha.
They
Gotcha.
Yeah.
made plenty of videos on that game, or they made a few videos on that game, and I watched them because I know that I'm not going to play the game. I've seen the theories and I've seen the gameplay, and I understand why people like it, like the story and the lore behind it, and how you can either fight or not, and how that affects the ending, and
Yeah.
all of these little things. I can see why people love this game, but it's not my kind of game. I will
Yeah.
not play this game, and at this point, I
Yeah.
have spoiled the shit out of that game for myself.
I might just end up having to do the same thing because, again, I was just like, I don't, and I am way into the old school looking games. I have so many of them downloaded. I've got more than I've ever even go to get. I haven't even played half of the ones that I have. You know what I mean? I have so many of them, because I love that old school look. And so, but this one was so cherished when it came out, and it was just like, well, I have to. This has to be on the list to do. And I have this habit, and I know a lot of people. This is going to sound very crazy, but I have this habit of going to the website howlongtobeat.com because I want to get an average. Because I'm obsessed when it comes with time. I want to get an average of how long it's going to take to beat, so I kind of know how much time it's going to take, and I can, I don't know, I can manage my time that way. But this is not a very long game, and I'm sitting there going, I can't, I don't even want to finish this. I don't even want to finish it. So I only got to, I'm not even sure I got shortly after a bridge or something like that he goes to Papyrus goes to use a bunch of items against you as his last puzzle, and I was like, I'm done, I don't even care anymore. I just don't care about this
Wow.
game.
If I remember
So
correctly, the name comes from the font that they use when they talk.
Yeah. The papyrus
Oh
one.
yeah, the papyrus font. Okay, that makes sense. That makes
And
sense because he's
also,
always yelling. Yeah.
did you know
Which
that
is
the
also
Pope actually owns this game?
The who?
The
yes.
Pope,
Mm.
because Matt
I,
Pat gave it to him when he met him.
I heard I heard that. Yep.
Good
I
for the
actually
Pope. I hope he enjoys it.
Pretty
Okay.
sure that he's never gonna play it either. But hey,
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure he has put zero time into it. I've put
sitting
more
at
time than he has.
sitting at a 92% of Metacritic, and an 8.4 user score review, which they usually tend to skew a little lower, because it's either a 10 or a 1 with users, and a must play.
Well, I played it, but
now,
I didn't beat it.
now a
You
copy
played
of
it,
it is sitting in the Vatican vault.
Yeah,
and
I
they got the
played it.
Vatican involved. Yeah.
I played it, didn't beat it, and it's already uninstalled because I just at some point.
Uninstalled.
Oh
This
yeah,
game's like 2 megabytes. Come on.
it doesn't matter. I didn't even want to see it anymore. I didn't want to see it on the cross media
Wow.
bar anymore. I was not a fan, to say the least.
Wow.
The next game I played and I actually did get a chance to complete is The Town of Light. And this game, yes,
I know. It's such a Mad
it's
Dog title.
I
Oh my
know.
god, this is so interesting.
So this game, first off, I actually uploaded a video, and believe it or not, this is of the end of the game. So feel free. I don't think anybody's ever going to play this game. This is basically a walking simulator, for the record. Although I
Mhm.
still don't really care for those terms. That term.
And that's those are the chances that it had for me playing it. Just walk the fuck out of here.
Oh yeah. That's why I say I know neither of you are going to be interested, but I did put so what it is. The premise of the thing is you're playing a woman who is trying to remember what happened to her when she was locked up in an asylum, essentially. Um, and deals with mental health issues and stuff like that, and it's actually visually not very good. uh,
Mhm.
Not one of the best looking games. It's also gets a little framey and stuff like that. And at some
Mm.
point I was like ready to just say, all right, there's another one that bites the dust. You know what I mean? I'm just not gonna be finishing anything anytime soon,
Oh.
evidently. Um, but what I did end up continue because the story started to get really good, and it really got really graphic to a certain point because the girl,
Mhm.
ends up getting raped by some of by some of the staff.
Jesus.
She gets yeah, it gets to a crazy
This
point.
got dark really quick.
I know, I
Yeah,
know.
that okay.
Yeah, the name
For a
is
game
very
called The
yeah,
Town of Light, it
very
got really fucking dark.
very deceptive. You play as a girl, Renee, and so she's dealing with mental illness in the hospital. She's trying to remember a lot of things, but then you see her ultimate fate at the very end. That's what I ended up posting because it was just like I have never seen like I know you guys know what a lobotomy is, right? I don't have to explain what that is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so I've never cringed at a video game moment. It's just like, oh my god,
Wow.
this is pretty harsh. And so, spoilers. Anyway, my point is to say, the game actually, regardless of how well it moved and how it looked, because it graphically wasn't horrible, but it definitely felt like PS3. Like this could have ran easily on a PS3, and the frame rate clearly felt PS3 ish. Um, so at
12.
points, not consistently, but at points, it was just like there's not a lot going on here. Why is it suddenly chugging? Um, but the story is what kept it going, and the memories and all this craziness that was going. And by the way, this is based on a true story. So, that's, yeah.
That's a side note.
As a side note, this is based on a true story, which is another reason why I wanted to play it, and two, kept me going to I was like, oh man, I definitely see what's going on here.
And
Uh,
at the end of the game, you play Russian roulette with a real gun, and it could kill you for real. That's gonna be the end of the game.
What
no,
the
It's
I just
hard.
told you. I just tell you what the end was the lobotomy. She got
It,
lobotomized at the end.
this is about this game. About this game. Uh, 12th of March of 1938, Renee, a 16-year-old, is stripped out of her world, locked up, and deprived of everything. Her
Yep.
only fault was that she didn't know what her place in the world was. If I continue reading from here, this is just gonna get darker and more depressing.
Pretty much.
I think I'm gonna take a hard left on this and just get the
Oh,
fuck
I was not in any way suggesting. I'm just saying,
out.
in the end, the journey was worth it. To kind of see, and yes, it's not a happy tale, not even close.
Wow.
But it was still really interesting, and I'm happy I played it, but never will I ever go back to it for sure. Not even a little.
Uninstall.
Yeah.
I
Oh
already
yeah,
uninstalled it,
I
and
already
I never
uninstalled.
installed it.
And then the last one I play here was is which actually I'm still technically playing, and I'm not sure for how much longer. Considering it's not horrible. It's Vampire or Vampire. I don't know. Well,
Uh,
it's Vampire with
Let's
a
go with
Y.
Vampire. Let's just go with Vampire.
Yeah, we'll go with Vampire. Yeah, this is from the studio Don't Nod, which brought us Life is Strange, and a couple other games. And the story is interesting. You play as a physician who got transformed into a vampire, and now has to try to f
how
figure
convenient.
out how this happened. He ends up, working now the night shift, obviously, because he has to, and so the story is actually kind of interesting. The gameplay is where it kind of it's a little janky. The
Yeah.
fighting is not horrible, but definitely could use some reworking. Essentially, the only reason I'm continuing is because of the story. The story is actually kind of interesting, but I just don't know if I can continue. And I've already know how long more or less this game takes because I always take a look. And
Mhm.
so I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to put all that time into this. It has to. The story literally has to have a hard right turn into really good for me to keep going. But overall, it's not horrible. The you do have obviously weapons that you can customize and upgrade, and you have special abilities that you can unlock with experience and all that. So that's the type of game it is. It takes
Yeah.
place in 1918, which is right at the end of World War One. That's happening. 'Cause you're in London. Also,
Mhm.
the Spanish. This is another reason why I'm interested in it because of what's going on right now. So the Spanish plague, the
Uh-huh.
Spanish flu is killing a lot of people. So you have a lot of posters up saying, cover your mouth, wash your hands. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
wow,
Maintain social
how
distancing.
yeah, yeah, like, hey, interesting, okay, so
The
it's
old
weird.
methods work.
Yeah, I'm like, apparently that's been around forever. But
Uh,
yeah, so anyway, that's the era that you're kind of in. um it's okay. It's for Don't Nod, because Don't Nod I think really hit their peak so far with the first
mm.
Life is Strange. I have not played Life is Strange 2, but the first
I
one
don't think
was
the Life is Strange 2
amazing.
was them.
Really, I thought that
But
was them.
I thought that was the whole thing, that Life is Strange 2 was given to someone else, maybe? Or I
I
might be
thought
misremembering.
I think
I don't
you're
know.
thinking the spinoff was not them. The spinoff, the Before the Storm of Life is Strange 1 was not them. Let me see. Don't Nod
Okay, it might
Studio.
have done. Yeah, yeah, it is them. It is them.
Yeah.
They,
So
they,
yeah,
they, they have.
they just didn't do the spinoff for the first Life. Anyway, the point is they kind of hit their peak there. I can see what they're trying to kind of going for in this particular game, but it was not. It's not sticking the landing on a lot of things.
Mm.
And it's overall it's very it's high mediocre. You know what I mean? It's just under good. You know what I mean? As if I could
It's
give.
almost like you remember the we got AAA games, and then we had like the B class games.
Yeah, yeah. This is like a nice double A.
Oh, double A. That's uh,
The is that not a term? Yeah, I think it is like
yeah. No,
Anyway,
I was
the double
wondering
A
if it was.
studio, kind of like
Yeah,
THQ games, from back in the day.
yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah. I
that's
see
kind
that.
of what this is. And I don't really have nothing else going on at the moment, so that's why I just said, let me put this on. And then finally, I watched this movie called The Assistant. You guys may not know anything about this particular film, but this is essentially, it's also known as the Harvey Weinstein movie. And if you know who
Mm,
Harvey Weinstein is, you kind of know what he's going to jail for.
yeah.
So the assistant is the life, is like the day in the life of one of the assistants for, and they don't mention his name. They don't
No.
mention, they don't point it out, but it's clear who they're referring to.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And you never even see him in the film, which is even more interesting. But you do hear his voice. You do see reactions from everybody. It's literally one day. The girl
Mm,
starts off the day going into work. The movie ends at the end of the day. So it's just this snippet of an assistant who's working for him, and she kind of figures out somewhere in between what's going on. Like she's been working
mm,
with him for a little while, but at some point she just doesn't know what's going on. But she kind of figures it out, and she tries to do something, but she
mm,
kind of gets painted into a corner, kind of saying, "Do you really want to throw your career away for this?" Type of thing. Um, and so that and then of course she comes to this point where it's like, what do I do? Do I just continue because she really wants to be what she wants to be, and everyone else is so nonchalant about it. Everybody
yeah.
knows what's going on, but no one's saying anything, and it's so disgusting. I can't even. I can't even. It's one of those things where I'm like, how in the hell? And it is what's the most disgusting part about it is how nonchalant everything. You don't see anything, but you just
Uh-huh.
know because you, the viewer, know this is the Harvey Weinstein movie. So you know what it's about. You know what's happening in the background. You're just not seeing it. Everybody else knows, and
Yeah.
it's normal. It is what it is. You know what I mean? And I'm like, fucking hell, um, crazy. It's, in essence, crazy is all I can
Yeah.
say about that. And like I said, it's it's just one day, and like it or not, you can look at it as this doesn't have an ending. It does. The day ends. It's not, you know what I mean.
Mhm.
You're not seeing the we're seeing now today in today's time what's happening to Harvey Weinstein. Obviously, this person in one day is not going to see all that happen. So
Yeah.
just knowing that, you kind of know what you're getting into here. But anyway, that's The Assistant. Interesting film. Not sure if I can recommend it to everybody, but but I enjoyed it for what it was. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all that I've been doing.
Cool.
So
And we're back, guys.
did I fuck that up? I fucked that up, then I.
It's all good. Fuck it.
Take
We're
it from
just
the
going
top.
to. We're just no. We're just going to go into it. We're back, and it is now time for our useless news. That
That
I
you
don't
can
know.
use.
I don't know about that. Are we ready for the useless news? Chaos, are you ready for the useless news?
I guess I am.
All right. Okay. Then
All
let's
right.
keep this rolling. All right.
Let's make it happen. The first piece,
Make
guys,
it happen,
is
Captain.
from the State of Play that occurred on Thursday for Ghost of Tsushima. I've been saying Tsushima for so long, and I realized after everyone said it in that video, they've been
Nope.
saying Tsushima. I'm
Nope.
like,
They
oh,
fucked up. I'm not calling it Tsushima. It is Ghost of Sashimi. We already know that.
you will be the only one calling it sashimi for the record.
Change the name.
This was an
Petition.
18-minute long video, and it was a little bit of an in-depth dive into what we should be expecting in Ghost of Tsushima. And it, I assume you both were able to watch. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts. I have lots of thoughts on it,
Please
and I guess
indulge
I'll
because
start.
yes,
I guess I'll start.
I
So
don't have
first
many
off, I
thoughts.
think no, really good. I thought first off, I think it's clearly going to be a beautiful looking game.
I
That
haven't
was
watched it.
evident. Oh, you should
No,
definitely
it's
because there's no
beautiful.
spoilers as far as stories go, so you're not going to get spoiled. And it's really more. It went into the how the game looked, how do you navigate, some combat, and then basically a lot of options like photo mode and stuff like that.
All right.
The combat gameplay to me kind of looked a little bit like a mix between maybe Shadows of Mordor and like Assassin's Creed a little bit. Um, I don't know. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but it looked like it was okay. It looked like the combat was going to be decent. For me, the what I didn't really care for was the fact that it really felt like just another open world with all the open worldiness that comes with these open world games.
They
Uh,
sure did.
yeah, it was just like, oh, okay, so it's definitely doing that. Okay, so you can obviously travel anywhere on the island, which Tsushima is an actual island on off the coast of Japan, between Japan and Korea, and so it's a real island. I don't know if it's to scale, but it's clearly meant to be big enough to get lost in. And so that's really like the one downfall it has. Like a lot of the gameplay portions of it were just like, well, so this is just going to be like any other open world where you have to destroy an area over here or liberate this town, or you know what I mean. I was like, ugh.
Oh, I didn't. I don't know if it's gonna be. I don't. I don't know if it's gonna be like that. Ubisoft shallow. You know what I mean? I don't
No,
expect it to be.
yeah, I agree. I agree on it. Well, I think it's going to have a lot of those trappings, though. I think it's going to be maybe not. You don't have to go collect 100 flags or anything like that, but still going to
No,
have a
I don't
reason
have to
for you
run
to.
around getting feathers.
No, yeah, I don't think. I don't think. Hopefully, they don't have something silly like that. Um, what I did notice, and the one takeaway that really got me excited for it, was the Samurai Cinema mode. where I was
Mhm.
like, yes, I will be playing this in that mode the entire fucking game, okay? Which you can turn on and off at any point. And in which I'm glad they announced it because for some reason I'd not heard this until now. It will have a complete Japanese voiceover. Um, so it will be
Yeah.
in Japanese voiceover in Samurai Cinema mode the whole way. You know what I mean? That's just it's just gonna be playing a samurai, a black and white samurai film. I'm good with it.
What is it?
So samurai, it's literally called Samurai Cinema, and it's a mode that gives it this black and white grainy look that old samurai films look like. You know, if you look at the old Akira Kurosawa films that were old and black and white and all that, and they have a certain look to them, which still visually looks good. It's just black and white. You know what I mean? And so they showed the gameplay in that, and I was like, done. Now I'm in. Like that's toward the end of the 18 minutes, and I was at that
Mhm.
point. Up to that point, I was just like, oh, this looks good. It looks like it's gonna be all right. You know what I mean? It didn't blow me away, but it looks like it'll be all right. Then that showed that, and I was like, okay, I think I'm in. Now I'm in. You know, so now I'm in. Because honestly, I would look at it as like, well, if it's just another open world, you have to stand apart somehow. And I'm like, now I see how you can stand apart. Now I want in, right? Because I'm like, shit, it's a samurai game, and I get to play it and make it look like it's an old samurai film, and it looks awesome on top of that, and it's in Japanese voiceover. Yes,
Yeah.
in. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I definitely recommend you watch this, Chaos, because again, there's no story spoilers at all. It's just really more or less kind of giving you a glimpse of what you're looking at. And don't get me wrong, in the color, obviously, if you get out of the regular mode, it is gorgeous. It's like color. The color is vibrant. It's like, whoa, this is something serious. Um,
And they do look different from area to area.
yeah,
The
agreed.
areas look it contrasts enough to where it definitely, yeah, and it looks gorgeous. And you definitely want to explore these locations.
The armors, right? They're showing the different armor options that you had, which all look very, very different. And there was this little thing that kind of caught my eye, which is, you ever been in an open world game and you know you have to collect grass or plants or something for whatever purpose? The fact that he was able to do it as he was riding the horse, just running by it, as opposed to having to get off the horse and pick it up. You know what I
Mm.
mean? I was like, oh, thank God, somebody figured that shit out, because that's one.
the,
Because that's an annoying thing. Let me tell you. But
the the game seems to have some interesting technologies also. Like I was reading about it having dynamic time of day and weather effect, simulated clouds, so they're not not pre-rendered, but what's the other? They're not pre-made. They're apparently uh, they they are randomly generated
really, okay.
as they should
Clouds, okay. As
yeah,
clouds
yeah,
are
yeah.
basically, yeah.
Yeah, kind of like a
Yeah.
procedurally generated sky, and a
Mm,
procedurally generated sun. So, and I get the feeling that is because you remember at the first few shots I was saying like, man, the game looks it's very cool and all, but something about the lighting seems a little. At first, I was going about plasticky or
mhm.
odd, like the lighting look weird, but now we know why. It's because they're not going with the normal sky, drawn skybox.
Mhm.
It's actually like an actual simulated sky, and when you see it in that context, like the technology seems really good. And also that area that they were showing, and this was on the early demos, was the area that I was mentioning. Like, man, this looks kind of weird. When you see the other locations, they look very flowy and natural.
Mm, okay.
Evidently the wind
Yeah.
kind of
The
it
win
can
in the
help.
game is something. Yeah, it's
It's
something serious.
yeah, yeah. It acts like a guide because the game is it's gonna be it's open world, but it is linear. There's no multiple endings or anything like that. So I don't think this is a game where you will get lost in doing menial tasks. It doesn't give me that
I
vibe.
have I do disagree on that. Sorry, because from what I saw, just the little shrine that you can come up to and pray at the shrine, and "Oh, you've unlocked a shrine." I'm like, "Okay, so how many shrines are there? There's
Oh
bunch of
yeah, no,
shrines that
it's
everyone
gonna
fucking
have that.
unlock."
It's gonna
Yeah,
have its
yeah,
collectathon. It's, I mean,
yeah. That's what I'm saying. But
it is
that's
an open
yeah.
world, but you're not gonna be playing darts. You're not gonna be, playing shogi probably, or it's not gonna have you
Well, it's a
doing
time of
like,
war, so I would hope not.
huh?
It's a feudal Japan, so I would hope that you're not
Well, I
stopping
mean,
to
you know
gamble
what I
for a minute.
mean. It's gonna
Yeah, yeah.
it has their own version of like mini games and like activities that are gonna take you away from the take you far from the main
The
storyline.
main
And
story.
yeah, it doesn't feel that way. I mean, it looks beautiful, gorgeous. I still think it's a game that I'm gonna wait for reviews first, because it might look beautiful and gorgeous and be just another open world. And it's sadly that seems like what gaming has become lately, nothing but open world games. I mean, I'm playing fucking Yakuza, for crying out loud. I don't need another one.
Oh, I don't think this is close to Yakuza, but sure. A quick a little note here, and I'm just because we have it part of this particular story. Sony unveiled their PlayStation Studios new look, and it has a little bit of a Marvel look to it, which I guess was just to say, hey, this will be what our logo or intro looks like to everything. I guess from my understanding is the particular intro. So if you remember the Marvel intro from every Marvel film, it has that look where it has little images from different comics and stuff like that. So here, my understanding is what they're going to try to do is when the trailer, let's say it's about Last of Us, it'll have images of everything Naughty Dog related, right? And if it's a trailer or something about something else, it'll have whatever's related to that particular thing. So I don't know. That's just some interesting to look there for the PlayStation Studios. Who has
I
the
liked
next
it.
piece here?
Okay.
Oh, you
I
like?
I was talking. I was muted.
Oh,
Oh wow,
No,
good job.
no, but I was just gonna say I liked it. That's it.
hmm,
All right,
good. I'm glad you
I'm
did.
gonna take this next news piece, which is of epic proportions. No pun intended,
Nice.
because it has nothing to do with the Epic company. But Destiny 2 is coming to
Oh,
PS5 and Xbox One X.
ba, 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 ba.
Sound the
Maximum
fanfare, guys.
power.
Run the parade. Let's get this going. Nobody cares. Carry on, guys. No, I'm just kidding.
You know what? I can think of one person that cares very dearly for this, and
That's
I
Ramiro?
bet he'll be very happy. I'm not saying names. It
Oh.
rhymes with Ramiro. uh, and he'll be very pleased to see that the legacy will continue. I honestly, I don't I don't understand, because it's not like you're gonna make the game look. I don't know. Sure, you know what? They're not making Destiny 3. All right, so, and this game is already on PS5 and Xbox whatever, because it's on PC and they're using the PC code. Let's be real. That's what's happening. So
Well, all right. So I'm reading this off Games Radar, which I had to turn off my ad block because fuck you, Games Radar. Um,
hey, they need to make their money, okay?
it said, yeah, whatever. It says we don't know exactly when the action MMO, and I like to take a moment to is it really an MMO?
It's MMO-ish.
When it has MMO elements, true, but when I think of MMO, I think of for you to be able to see the massive players in one area or wherever they are at
Yeah.
on real time. That's not what happens in this game. You get like what 16 players at the tower.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
when you go out, when you're patrolling, you see other players.
Do you really? Oh yeah, you
you go
do.
patrolling. Yeah.
Is there a limit to how many players you can see, or is
I mean,
it
you can
just
see.
people just don't do that shit?
I don't know if they're reuniting, to see a concert, Fortnite style, but I know that you run into different names. I don't know exactly what the server is doing, but you see enough to. I wouldn't. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't qualify it as an MMO either, because it might be in in the definition of the law, but not in the spirit of the law, if that makes sense.
Okay,
Makes sense.
Yeah,
I kind of understood. Yeah, I understood that.
yeah.
All right, so it said that they don't know exactly when it's going to make the next gen jump, but Bungie confirmed that it is indeed coming on Twitter earlier today, promising more details to come in a reply to the official Xbox account. God, I gotta breathe more.
I know you should. I was worried. Take a breather, brother.
One of the questions that they propose is like, will players be able to bring accounts and guardians from current gen consoles to the next gen? I mean, honestly, considering that they do have cross save,
I
it'd
mean,
be ridiculous not to. This is not like from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. This is just Destiny 2
could you imagine?
continuing. Oh my god!
It'll be suicidal. Nobody would
Yeah.
play this shit.
What a
It'll be
faster
suicidal
way
not to.
to kill a game to just like, yeah, no, if you're gonna make the jump, you gotta start all over again. Fuck you.
I know. And you need to buy it. You need to buy this version. No, fuck. No, come on. Let's be
So,
real.
yeah,
We can almost report that that's going to be the case without confirmation
there's-
because I can't even think of it being this level of stupid. Even though, if we're going to be talking about levels of stupid, there's a news piece over there somewhere. Oh, you know what? It's actually one part of mine, so I might as well bring
oh, go
that
ahead, go right ahead, because there's more here, but I'm pretty sure that I don't care. So
Destiny 2 is coming, guys. It's be
be excited.
excited. Yeah, be
Be
excited.
excited! Please be excited. I can't think of Bungie screwing this up so bad that it would not allow you to.
Oh, don't
transfer your
challenge them,
character.
please. Don't challenge them.
Well, we have a new challenger actually.
Oh yeah.
You remember a game called The Cullen? I don't know if that's
I
how
do-
you pronounce it.
The
The
what?
culling. Yeah.
The
The
Cullen.
culling.
Nope.
Culling, yeah.
Culling.
Oh, I know what you guys are saying. God damn it! I don't know what game that is.
It starts with a C. C U like Edward Cullen. No, I'm kidding.
Uh-huh.
No. So the Cullen was actually, believe it or not, it was one of the first battle royale games. I think it was around the PUBG era,
Mhm.
but before Fortnite. Anyway,
It sounds like the horror version of PUBG.
I was actually I wouldn't say it was like
Broccoli.
majorly popular, but it was fairly popular. Yeah, it is. It is a little bit of a. I think it had to do with like a horror game show or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, let me tell you about this because the headline comes as the Cullen now has the most batshit payment model in video games. Congratulations,
shit.
everyone! We did it.
Oh my god.
The Cullen had a little bit of bad luck. It was doing pretty well on Steam, but the battle royale shooter got steamrolled by Fortnite and PUBG. Last year, it was shut down. Now it's back from the dead and hoping to entice players back by and this is how they put it. Wait, hold on. The developers wants player to pay per play more than one time per day? No.
Yo, I read that article and I had to like reread it like 4 times. Like, am I reading this right?
That's the article, man. That's the article. Talk about calling your player base. To be fair, the developers. No, sorry. To be fair to the developers, he had tried a bunch of different ways to entice players to come back. It released the Calling 2 before, pulling it from sales almost immediately, and relaunching the first game again. So now it's because evidently they released the second one. It was a disaster because it was not what the players wanted to play, and they dude, they immediately pulled it off because it was a mess. There was literally 0 players playing the game. I think the maximum they top in Steam at one point, the maximum count was like 12 people.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
So
like 11 or 12 or something like that. I was like, oh, man.
imagine how much of a shit show. It was. So they put the calling. Now it's back, and if you already own it, you have to pay to play it if you want more than one match a single day. So basically,
The
the
mountain of bullshit.
Mhm.
so basically you buy the game, and then if you want to play more than one, you buy this currency, I guess.
Oh my god.
Kind of
Tokens.
like putting quarters on it. It says if you don't already own the Cullen, it will cost you $5.99. Then you have to purchase tokens to play more than one, more than one, uh,
Match.
more than one free play. Yeah, one more than one free match per day. Tokens can be earned by winning, but this is a battle royale game, so you won't be winning too often. You can also buy the unlimited access, which is basically an MMO subscription model, $5.99 per month. Except instead of getting massive expansions, the game gets randomly the games get randomly canceled every few months. Haha. So basically, it wants $5.99 to buy the game, or $5.99 per month. Like, I don't fucking get it. Like, what is these
It's-
people doing?
It doesn't
exactly?
matter.
Yeah,
it's
it's
fucking
for- it's-
ridiculous.
Yeah, it is really ridiculous. It's like $4.99, if I'm not mistaken, for the day. Or I don't know. It's the stupidest model
It is.
I
this
have
stupid-
ever heard of. It's just
Dude.
like for a game that is like in the famous words of Dream Twister, unmitigated garbage.
Yep, that would be me.
That is a direct
Trademark.
quote. Yeah. And so it just looking at the game, it's just like it's just like, who would pay for this? Who would pay to play more than once? You know, it's like it doesn't. It's like I don't understand.
You know,
This
we
reminds
have
me-
Fortnite, we have Apex, we have so many other battle royale games. And
Apex is free, and
the
it's a
Apex is-
greater game than this. You know, it's like
Hell,
like
you can
trouncing
pay
this.
$10 once and never have to pay $10 again.
There you go, and it's optional. It's if you want, because you don't have to if you don't want to.
Right.
You know,
It's only if you want
It-
the skins and shit.
it's like these guys can't even nail being evil. They can't
Listen.
even nail being evil.
Listen, this reminds me to that South Park episode where the guy's carrying his nuts in this cart because they're so big. That's these motherfuckers right now. I mean,
That's
the
what-
sackage on this people.
You mentioned
Yeah.
you mentioned evil, and that's the first thing. Like you have, your evil corporations that are these slick guys who just know how to do things. Your EAs and your Activisions and all this stuff, and then you have that, that crazy low level dude who thinks he's a big mafia guy and all this stuff, and that's these guys. These guys are just, it's just like these silly ass guys. Yeah, that can't even. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad that's even a thing. And what's worse is my understanding is that this is not a new model, or this is like an iteration of a model that's already being done for
You
mobile
can't even
games.
imagine what was.
And I'm like, what? Who is? Anyway, this is why mobile games are of the devil. This is what I'm saying. Oh my goodness.
So the old,
Hey
the,
man,
the
don't
older,
be blaming the devil for this shit.
Oh.
the older model, the older model that they had was where you pay with the blood of your first son, of your firstborn son,
Wow.
and if you don't have any sons, you don't get to play. Period. You cut your dick. Actually, they'll
Oh
take that
my
as
God.
There you go.
Moving on to the next piece now, because this one ran a little long. Unreal Engine 5 was revealed by Epic Games on a video online hosted by oh my God, what is his name? Jeff Keighley. Epic Games
Speaking
unveiled
of shit,
the
No, just kidding.
Epic
I'm
Games
totally
unveiled
fucking
the newest version of its game engine, Unreal Engine 5, this past Wednesday, showcasing what its next generation of game technology will look like, while also giving us a first look at software that was actually running on a PlayStation 5. The demo, which Epic says is running on a PlayStation 5, is impressive. At the heart of Epic Games' next gen engine are two new pieces of technologies. First is Nanite, which is a virtualized geometry system, which will let artists import and render 3D models and environments composed of billions of polygons, and Lumen, the second part of it, a global illumination system that will enable dynamic, highly realistic lighting in gaming. So, I don't know if you guys got a chance to see the entire demo itself. I did see it. It looked pretty. Um,
I did, and I saw the Digital Foundry.
yeah,
You know,
the update on it. Okay, nice. What
yeah,
did they have to say about it?
yeah. Dude, it's impressive. They're basically talking about the fact that they're able to achieve these visuals in a method like it's you see the lighting and you're thinking that almost looks ray traced, which is when you see the simulation of light realistically bouncing off of objects and
Hmm.
the objects taking, you know, acting realistic
Illuminating,
as a
yeah.
light should be. Yeah, illuminating realistically. Say for example, if you shines light on a red surface, for example, how the stuff around will tend to get that reddish
To get
glow
that reddish
also.
hue. Hmm.
You
Yep.
know exactly that reddish hue, yeah, that pinkish hue. um, that rosy glow. Anyway, so they were talking about, no, this is not that technology, this is something that is a little bit more elegant, it's a little bit more cost effective, cost in the sense of you don't have to spend so many uh, processing power to be able to show it, and it does show that next gen consoles will have the capability of running this stuff. Now you have to have realistic expectation. Uh, this is this demo, of course, is all it's all graphics. You don't have a CPU crunching AI and all that other stuff that will bog down a system to where graphics, don't end up looking that great at first.
Hmm.
I believe we will have games that will look like that, and I honestly believe that we will have games on consoles that will look even better than that. But it's gonna take time. It's not gonna be the launch titles. Not gonna be any of the launch titles.
For
You know
sure.
that
For
the
sure.
the best thing that the launch titles could hope for is to be close. Looking close to that, and also as beautiful as it looked, I think the most impressive part was seeing the streaming technology, not so much the graphical fidelity, because I feel like consoles, even right now, we are at a point where graphics look, you know, gorgeous, gorgeous enough, um, but it's because we're doing all this trickery and all this hiding load times and
Yeah. I mean, even
hiding the streaming of assets and stuff like that.
yeah, even Final Fantasy VII remake. As beautiful as it was, some of those backgrounds clearly look pretty flat.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was like, I guess
You
I
could
know
tell
why
that
you're doing this, but
because
wow.
streaming, the processing power to stream the the not the graphics, but the, oh my god, so I'm forgetting the word, but anyway, to to make those scenes look sharp, you know, uh, just to stream those assets, it'll it's not on this console generation. It is with the next console generation. I believe this console generation have enough power where it'll be unjustifiable to see streaming assets in front of you, right? Unless you don't know how to code your game right. But what was more impressive about this demo is that at one point, especially at the end, it's about this lady basically is kind of going around some caves and some areas, and then at some point she just takes flight and she bolts into like running so fast, and you see the terrain, she's moving towards the terrain really, really, really fast, and at no point you see a hiccup. At no point you see, let alone a pause break loading. Not no please wait, nothing like that. It just keeps going and going and going, and streaming as beautiful. It still has that high fidelity. So that's the
Yeah,
part
but it
that
is
got me
also
impressed.
but it is also like a demo designed to look that way and designed to
Yes,
work
true.
that way.
Oh,
You know what I mean? So
yeah, of course, of
it's not
course.
like the game that they were showing is an actual game.
No, no, no.
Um,
But we will have the games that will be able to achieve that. Just not. I don't.
True.
I don't think they're going to be right now. You know.
I have two. I have
But
two. Well, first of all, I wanted to. There's a little bit of information that I found out after watching this, and that is that this particular demo was meant to be shown off at CDC.
Mhm.
And it was also meant to be playable at CDC. So people at CDC will be able to play it and meant to be played at a PlayStation 5.
Mhm.
So it's interesting to say, oh man, I wonder if we would have had this information. 'Cause CDC was now a few months back now, if I'm not mistaken. And so I wonder if that information would have already been out. Maybe even info on what the PlayStation 5 even looks like, because it may have been at the show as well. But it's interesting knowing that this was something that should have been part of that show. It's also interesting that this is a 9-minute demo, and it showed off more gameplay and was more exciting than both the hour-long press conference that Sony did talking about tech and the gameplay 27-minute gameplay thing that wasn't gameplay from Microsoft. We got more out of these 9 minutes than those
Ah,
two put together. I'm just saying.
that is
I'm just saying.
completely inflammatory.
I'm
That is
just saying.
garbage as hell. Because this is not gameplay. Because it's not a game.
It
But
is gameplay. It's not a real game, but it is gameplay. Just saying. Just saying.
no, I'm not
We
gonna
got.
take that, sir. I'm not,
You don't have to.
in no way.
That is
Listen,
my opinion.
in
This is
no
the
way
sole
I'm
opinion of Mad Dog.
All right. Okay. I guess with that qualification, then I guess we can move on.
There you go.
Another thing to clarify is, yeah, that shit was still running at 30 frames per second. So
Yeah, exactly. On
fuck
top of all that,
you.
good job, next gen. Oh
You
my
want to
goodness.
impress me? Yeah, I am not impressed.
Who has the
um,
next piece, guys?
I'll bite.
No,
Let me
it's
see.
my turn.
Oh, that's right. Okay, fine. Go.
God damn it.
I'll have my coffee here.
Yeah, go have your coffee, sir. Evo
Okay.
2020 is going online, dropping Smash Brothers Ultimate from lineup. What the hell?
So it's happening? Evo's happening?
Apparently.
It is.
Oh shit.
All right. Let me clarify this, and I'm reading this off Polygon. This year's Evolution Championship Series, better known as EVO, has been canceled, but organizers are taking a version of the marquee fighting game tournament online. The format will be dramatically different. Instead of taking place over a single long weekend, EVO Online will take place over the course of 5 weekends in July. EVO 2020's lineup has also changed somewhat for EVO Online, with Nintendo Switch fighting game Super Smash Bros. Ultimate no longer part of the official tournament. EVO
Why
Online will,
though?
yeah. I
Not online.
I was you can
'Cause
play
you
it
gotta-
online though.
Oh my
Couch
god.
play, yeah,
Man,
you
you're on
can't play.
fire. Damn. What's up? What
I wonder what it has to do with
my
the
dog is angry.
with well, how the internet runs on the Twitch or something, because there's got to be a reason for it.
Yeah. I guess when you're forced to play, when you have no other option but to play with Wi-Fi, I guess that could present some problem.
Oh my god. Evo Online will feature special exhibitions and content from Evo 2020's previously announced lineup. Special exhibitions and content. Okay, sure. Dragon Ball Fighters,
Sounds like filler.
Dragon Ball Fighters Z, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, Samurai Showdown, Soul Calibur 6, Street Fighter 5 Championship Edition, Tekken 7, and Under Night In Birth Exit Late. What the fuck is up with this thing?
The hell is that?
Bracketed CL-R. All right.
Oh, that's probably one of the
Control
fucking
Alt Delete.
Sounds like a Square Enix game. Just saying.
no. What's the worst? That the guys that do shit. The guys that do these stupid games. They did Dragon Ball, which was actually pretty cool, but for the most part, they do weird fighting games that only like fighting
All
It doesn't
right.
weirdos know how to play.
We don't know it.
Evo Online will also feature open tournaments.
Arctis game, I think is what's it called.
I have no idea what they are.
Alright.
Evo Online will
Arc
also
System
feature
Works.
open
That's the
tournaments from the following games, which were not previously part of the 2020 official lineup: Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, Schoolgirls 2, and
Best
Encore.
game ever.
Them's fighting. Them's fighting herds. Them's fighting words. There, Dream. You want to put? You want to fight me, Mortal Kombat 11?
Mortal Kombat 11? Anytime, man. I don't know what you're hating.
I'll
Hater.
re-download it and stream that match.
Sounds good to me.
Oh,
Only if you play.
Marking the time now for that. 'Cause I have a feeling people are going to forget.
Only if you play Guilty Gears with me. You know what? Just pick one.
that's fine. You want to play Guilty Gear? I'll play Guilty Gears with you.
Guilty Gears. That whoever created that Arc System Works. That was the developer I was thinking about.
Oh, so we're playing Guilty Gears and then Mortal Kombat 11. I mean, it's a piece of shit game, but I'll still fight you there.
We ain't playing shit, sir.
Of course not.
Of course not.
So, anyways, as previously announced, Evo Online will also host a version of the special invitational tournament featuring Marvel vs. Capcom 2. What? For the fighting game's 20th anniversary, which Evo organizers are calling the Tool. Wow. I'm just going to say Tournament of Champions, but tournament has 20 instead of
The
tournament?
tournament. The
Wow.
tournament.
tournament.
Good
20
job, guys.
tournament. 20 tournament. 20 tournament of champions. That was- Holy shit.
That was a
Well,
mouthful.
That-
Oh, see you guys next week, GG.
By the way, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I love that game.
There you go.
When
Sign
I
up.
played it, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing, but I love that game.
Nobody knows what they're doing. We play those games. I mean, it's Marvel vs. Capcom. You just button mash
No.
and shit happened on the screen.
I mean, I had no idea of the concepts behind fighting games. I didn't know what fucking crossovers or like overheads and mix ups and shit. Well, I had no idea what fucking frame data was, nor did I care. This shit looks cool. Let's go. I like team composition. Who cares? Pick your 3 favorite characters and fucking go at it. Evo Online
Alright.
will take place the following dates: July 4th and 5th, July 11th and 12th, 18th and 19th, 25th and 26th, 31st, and August 2nd. They keep putting July. Just Jesus Christ. Registration details are forthcoming, organizers say. Period.
Sunday.
What?
Nice. At
All
least
right.
it's happening.
yeah.
At least it's not
Oh.
canceled.
A version of it's happening.
A version is happening.
They need to get money somehow. You know, they can't cancel and not have anything.
I mean, I don't. Like I said, I mean, it's bad enough because these people like measure everything. You know, even there, the input lag, and all these little things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, with the monitors, like the monitor has to be specific. If the monitor is somehow not working correctly, and you have some sort of input lag, and it's the monitor's fault, you know, there's all these little things, and then you're gonna do it online. Are you serious?
Yeah, you gotta do it online. Yeah, I know. It's hey, Evo
It's
needs to
better
get
than
money.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's better than nothing. They get something, whether it's by charging viewers or by getting sponsorship money or whatever. It's
Ad revenue or
it's
whatever.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, ad revenue. Better to have something than nothing. You know.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's not going to be the Evo Championship. It's not. It's just they're taking a line to do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so
That's a,
Fair enough.
keep the name.
yeah, that's nice of them. I guess.
All right. This part, this next piece that I have here, I guess it's also nice for them. A new Star Trek actually spin-off featuring Pike, Spock, and Number One is coming to CBS All Access. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't watched Star Trek. I like Star Trek. I'm not. Uh, uh, I don't have any problem saying so, but
You're not a
I'm not gonna pay
Trekkie.
fucking. No, I kind of am a little bit. I mean, it's I don't follow it so deep. I'm not a trekker. I'm just a Trekkie.
Oh my god.
uh,
I mean, I'm not
but
either.
I'm not gonna.
I like the new movies. That's about it. Like, and we're all
I
right.
like the new movies. I'm more of a next generation type of guy. What was it? Star Trek. Oh my God, what was that? What was the one with the Borg?
I don't
I
know. I
even
never
forgot
cared
the
for
name of
any
it.
of them.
Mad Dog will know. What's the name of it?
Uh,
Mad Dog. Star
I don't
Trek.
recall. Sir.
Put
Which one
the
you
Star
talking?
Trek.
The
The one that
first
had
contact?
first contact. Thank you. That one. That was definitely my favorite Star Trek movie. Of them all. Anyway, I was saying that I'm not gonna pay for CBS All Access. Fuck that. Three of Star Trek's Discovery most popular characters are getting their own spin-off series for CBS All Access. Because again, it's CBS All Access. What else do they have? Uh, a new show will be called Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, and will follow Anson Mount, Captain Christopher Pike, Rebecca Romijn,
Romaine.
Romaine. Oh, that's right. Rebecca Romaine's number one, and Ethan Speck Spock. In the decade before Captain Kirk commanded the USS Enterprise through the stars. The show will follow the three shipmates as they travel the galaxy and explore new worlds. No shit. The series will premiere the series premiere of Strange New Worlds, written by executive producer Akiva Goldsman, who will continue to serve as a key creative voice on Star Trek Picard as well. Uh, so, so wait a minute. Start. Oh yeah, that's right. Because there's Star Trek. See, this tells you how far I am from Star Trek knowledge nowadays. So there's Discovery, and they had Star Trek Picard, which I also haven't seen. Just like CBS other Star Trek shows, this one will be overseen by Alex Kurtzman and da 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 da. Strange New Worlds is one of the many shows set in the Star Trek universe that will no sorry that will be on the way in the near future. Rick and Morty. Okay, they lost me right here. Writer Mike McMahon animated series Star Trek Below Decks is headed for All Access. Oh, that's another
What's
one.
wrong with Rick and Morty though?
Fuck Rick and Morty. Fuck all this new
Fuck you.
animation. No, come on, man. Have some taste. Have some taste. Come on.
Excuse you? Listen, man. Don't fuck with Rick and Morty. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, fine. I don't have anything. It doesn't even get my interest to argue. So I'm just gonna leave it there. Anyway, yeah, man. Star Trek Picard is gonna have a second season. Woohoo! Back to you.
Good job, CBS All Access.
It's all
Uh,
Star Trek.
yeah, basically that's what they're that's what they're banking their money on.
Well, what else do they have?
Couple of remasters have been announced. First and foremost, Tony Hawk fans get excited.
Oh yes.
The original Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 are being radically remastered for next gen consoles.
Yes. The good
Dropping
one.
this September 4th will be Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1, Pro Skater 2, and in all bringing back the original levels, skaters, tricks, modes, and songs from the
Yeah.
iconic soundtrack, as well as amping up the experience with new ways to play, including online multiplayer. So yeah, Tony Hawk fans, excited? Any Tony Hawk fans? Sounds like I hear Tony Hawk fans, unless it's just the
No.
music.
Fuck no,
No,
man.
it-
I mean, first off, the music was amazing, and Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, I played the shit out of that game.
It's not gonna have all the music though. I was gonna say.
What?
I mean, most of it. It's gonna have. It's gonna
Licensing.
have a few. Yeah, licensing. They're gonna have most of the titles. I think they're only missing like 5 or 6, so it's not. It's not a terrible loss.
Yeah,
But still, you wish
Licensing
that
is
it had everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
True, for real. And then the second one is Mafia. The Mafia series, one of the most underrated modern game franchises. This is spoken by whoever wrote this in Polygon.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Is getting a new release as a complete trilogy. 2K Games and Hangar 13 revealed this past Wednesday. So you'll have trailer for. Maybe there's no release date. What the hell's the release date here? Damn it!
No release date.
Coming soon, guys.
you
Mafia
go.
trilogy. It's coming soon.
Nice.
Mafia 1, 2, and 3. Be excited. It is also not, unfortunately, coming to PC, or at least not as of yet. So,
Mafia? Oh man, what a great loss.
I know.
Oh,
fuck
this
PC, I guess.
exclusivity. Shit.
Yeah.
You don't get the definitive edition of fucking Mafia.
All right.
What a
so
shame.
for my last piece, which is what I started talking about earlier and kind of like dropped it. Warframe gets an LA Noire style serial killer story, and I'm reading this off Polygon. Mind you, I started it myself. When you first go in and you open the Nightwave, which is they started season 3, which is it's this whole Helen Moore apparently inspired killings or whatever murders. It's kind of fucking weird, man. All right. So they put you in this little section of like a village. I can't remember the fucking name of the place right now. I was trying to remember, but anyways, and there's this guy that has been crystallized. Right? It's just and according to the lore, the way they used to do this, they used to suck up your soul and then leave your body imprisoned in glass. I don't understand the logic behind it. If you sucked up my soul, why are you keeping my body encased in glass? But hey, Warframe lore, everybody.
I don't know. That sounds like a Chansu crossover.
What?
That sounds like Chansu. It's Chansu Still Souls.
Oh my god.
Mortal Kombat. Jesus
Oh.
Christ.
Shang
Nice.
Tsung.
Shang Tsung. Oh, okay. I heard Shenzhou. I'm like, what is Shenzhou?
I mean, if you say it Puerto Rican, Chansung, I'm not gonna
Wow.
You.
Nice. Well done.
Fuck you guys. Jesus Christ. You know what? I'm just gonna mute myself over here and listen to you guys in the rest of the podcast.
Wait, what?
I'll be back.
This was posted 3 days ago because it says today at 2 p.m. But I'm gonna go 3 days ago at 2 p.m. Warframe players will be able to download a new update. Blah 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 blah. This update includes a third series of Nightwave, which is the game's battle pass-like system that gradually tells side stories within the Warframe universe. It says battle pass-like system, which yes, is true. It's kind of like a battle pass, but it's free.
Okay.
You don't have to pay for it. You just do the challenges that it gives you. You level it up, and you get the rewards. Done. Previous Nightwave entries have been the tale of a famous felon and a story about a particular suspicious cult leader. I remember the first one, which was the Wolf of Saturn, and I wasn't too Warframe. I wasn't that much into Warframe at the moment, was I? No. I kind of was, so I did a little bit of it, but not a whole. I think I did like 3 or 5, like 5 levels at most, and that was it. And then the second one, I did nothing of it. I was not playing Warframe at all. I have no idea what the hell that was about. And when I started it, they were doing the intermission before this one, which obviously the intermissions have no story. This time we're getting a noir-shaded story about a sinister serial killer. Players can access Glassmaker by logging in as they achieve in-game goals and challenges that will earn access to a simulated environment that shows the serial killer's crime scenes. From there, the world will work like a very sci-fi version of L.A. Noire. Players walk around a crime scene where the terrible Glassmaker has struck by turning their victims into glass. It's a very on-the-nose nickname. Yes, we know. The environment has clues that will tell us more about this Glassmaker and what they're up to. We can likely expect this to culminate with a confrontation from the Glassmaker themselves in-game as the Nightwave event progresses. The new update comes on the heels of changes to the new spaceship combat system, Railjack Revised, that make the frantic space combat mode feel a little less overwhelming and more consistent. Haven't tried it yet. Well, I guess I did, but I guess I didn't notice that many changes. And that's the end of that article. Seriously. All right. Well, they don't tell you here, right? Because I'm at the first crime scene.
Hmm.
Like I said, there's somebody crystallized, and you kind of like you inspect it, and you get some background on it, and then you go around collecting evidence. Which on the first one is 5 pieces of evidence, and then there's this aura coming from the statue, and you gotta it asks you to trade in these items, and the way that works is that in your missions, enemies that are like crystallized will spawn randomly. The game will let you know that they're spawning, and you get the drops from them. I have 8. You need 10 for the first one, so I have to go back and at least play because I got 3 from the first time I saw them. I got 3 of them, and then the second time I got 5. I'm not sure if there's if like
Difference?
Sorry, guys, I'm back.
I don't know what
Just
the
a little
limit.
bit.
Oh, you really did leave, son of a bitch. Anyways, I don't
Yes, are we
know.
still talking about Warframe?
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Respect.
Oh
This
God,
is Destiny.
so boring.
Oh, I was gonna say this isn't Final Fantasy 14 then.
Ah, okay, yeah, I kind of missed Final Fantasy 14. Jesus.
Oh shit! So now I gotta go back because you missed it. Anyways, I don't know what's the limit. I don't know if you can just like hang around in a survival mission long enough to just get a lot of these drops or not.
Hmm.
But I don't think it's rare enough. This should be too bad of a grind because guess what? It's a grind.
Of course.
But I am looking forward to it.
It's Warframe.
There's an Umbra Forma as a reward for level 29, I believe, which I know you guys have no idea what that is, but it's something that I want very, very fucking much. I have only one, and this is the second one I'll get my hands on. So this is happening. I don't know if I'm gonna go like super hardcore on Warframe, but I do want to do it enough that I get all 30 levels, and I want to see the at least one of these events from beginning to end, since I haven't done that yet.
Mm. I have one question, sir. Do the faces of your suspects change when you ask them questions?
Again, I'm still at the very beginning. I don't have any suspects yet. I've just encountered the first victim.
Okay. If
So
they
I
do not,
will.
then I do not like the LA Noir comparison. If that's not in there, just saying. Just saying.
I don't know why they're calling it LA Noir. I really don't.
Anymore.
I mean, other
Yes.
than you're investigating into murders, but again, I didn't play LA Noir, and I haven't gotten that far into this anyway. So,
Fair enough. Fair enough. Mr. Dream Tester, the next piece.
by the
Oh
way, that was
God,
my last
finally.
piece.
That was the last piece.
Oh, you know what? I'm leaving now.
You can also leave if you need Mad Dog because I'm gonna talk about Civilization 6. So
Oh dear.
take your pee break now. Civilization 6, it's getting a new season pass and 8 new civilizations. And the reason I bring this up is because I know that there's some civilizations super fans. It's not for everyone, but the people that really fucking like it. And number two, because this game is like 6 years old now, I think, and or 4 years. I'm surprised that they're still doing stuff for it. Anyway, 4 year. Oh, here we go. It's 4 years. It's been after its launch. Civilization 6 is getting a new season pass that will deliver 6 fresh DLC packs starting May 21st. Developer Firaxis Games will release a new DLC pack every other month throughout the year. The first on the block is the Maya and Grand Colombia pack, which will include 2 new civilizations and leaders, an apocalypse game mode, interesting, new city stats, resource, and natural wonders. This will be followed in July by the Ethiopian pack, which will add the Ethiopian civilization along with a new leader, district, and a secret society's game mode. Future packs will then be added bi-monthly until May 21st of next year, each introducing at least one new civilization, new leaders, and a new game mode. Civilization 6 New Frontier Pass will cost $39.99 and is available on PC, Mac, Linux, wow,
Whoa.
PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch.
What?
So
It's on the
yes,
Switch?
Listen, I just
it
got
is.
back and I left before you started talking. What the hell are you talking about? Are you still talking about it?
No, 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 don't worry, don't worry.
Nice.
I can start over. So, 4 years
Oh,
after
God.
the Civilization 6 is getting a new season pass.
I cannot believe that Civilization 6 actually runs on a Switch. That boggles me. The Switch is really quite the
the,
little freaking device, isn't it?
like I said, the game came out 4 years ago, which I'm pretty sure it was daunting for the CPUs of that era. I'm talking about era, like if it was such a long time ago. But I'm surprised that it's actually
Can
that
It's
it's
gotta,
actually
it's
running.
gotta, yeah. I mean, it has
I,
to take a hit somewhere.
can I
I'm
read
sure.
a title here from a news piece from a news article that I found?
Yes, sir.
I'm not gonna read the news article. It reads Call of Duty Modern Warfare bullets are acting weird, and this is the best part. According to study,
According to studies
Oh, wow.
suggest that the bullets in Call of Duty act weird.
Or
We
acting
need more to
strange.
come.
what the hell? What kind of bullshit is this?
I don't know. Now you're gonna have to read it on a bonus round.
I'm reading this off Game Rant. Oh my god, this is great. A recent lengthy study on Call of Duty Modern Warfare bullet patterns has confirmed that there are a lot of inconsistencies in the game.
Really?
Redditor Black Oktoberfuck recently performed some extensive tests regarding Call of Duty Modern Warfare's bullet penetration capabilities, and what they found is a lot of inconsistencies. It just kills me. I mean, this is only interesting because it said the word study. Though fans always knew that this game had a lot of those, go figure. The results of the study are still rather shocking with just how random they seem.
I need to know more. I need to know more. So basically, they found that the bullets are bullshit. They're broken.
Pretty much.
That's what it sounds like.
Bullet penetration mechanic is something has done well in the past, so fans were shocked to see how the study turned out.
Mm.
Well, I don't know, but
Bullet penetration.
people are conducting studies in video games, and like that. That shit is just
Hey, listen. It's a pandemic. There's nothing else to fucking do. Some
Study
people just have
show.
too much.
Yeah, I was gonna say, studies show when you have too much time on your hand, you start
You get
researching
super
some
creative.
crazy shit. Yeah.
Yes.
wow. Start conducting studies on Call of Duty.
Wow.
If the bullets are fucked up or not.
All right, my
Mad
last
Dog, take us
piece.
home.
We have Nintendo this past Thursday, which was yesterday actually, announced Paper Mario and Paper Mario the Origami King,
The
which is
origami killer.
the Origami Killer comes to Paper Mario, and it will be released on July
Where's that from?
17th.
Where's that from? Where's that from? Come on, you know it.
Something Rain.
Come on.
Dead Rain?
It's
Heavy Rain.
it's
Heavy Rain.
there you go.
There it is,
Say
right?
Dead Rain.
I don't know.
I was gonna say
It's always
it's a little
dead
more weighty.
something. Yeah. Oh my god.
Jason.
So yes, Paper Mario. I actually checked out the trailer, and it looks pretty freaking awesome. Always dig the
It looks
Paper
freaking
Mario
awesome.
series. But yes, July 17th coming out. Obviously, looks like they're going to try to take advantage of the fact that people have to stay home still. Because let me tell you, their last game that just came out, Animal Crossing, has become the number one game sold digitally ever for a console in history. The number one, God, this is written so weird. The game sold more digital units in a single month than any console game in history. This is per Super Data. So
Damn.
obviously,
For not knowing how to do online.
yeah, so they know how to sell games. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, that there wraps up the useless news. So stand by. We'll be right back with our hot topic.
Hot topic. Oh shit!
We are back, guys, and it is time for our hot topic.
Hot topic.
Hot topic again, guys. This is part 2 of, and the first part, guys, was literally probably a year ago, but part 2 of random questions from a hat. And so we've reached out to the group to say, hey guys, throw us your questions. And Sparrow Wolf took that shit to heart,
Oh
for
my
the record.
God. It's like he's been saving them.
Yeah,
What?
for reals. I'm going to. He has many, and what I'm going to do is I will pepper it. I'm going to pepper his in here and there. We'll get to all of them. At least I hope we get to all of them. But we'll pepper his questions in and out. But we will start with his first one. Random questions. This is from Sparrow Wolf. His first one. He asks, what video game made you burst into laughter? If you remember, please share the exact moment or scene. Mind you, it could have been funny to you, just for you. Just give us some context. For me, I can just since I'll let you guys think of your games. For me, is Tales of the Borderlands.
Tales of the Borderlands.
Tales
Oh
of the
my God.
Borderlands was hilarious. I laughed out loud more than once in that game, and I honestly, it is, as much as I've said it before, Telltale's The Walking Dead is probably one of the best. Season 1 is probably one of the best games when it comes to being riveting and being one of those things that's is fearful and all this stuff and gory and everything that normally comes with the game. Tales of the Borderlands was the exact and opposite end of the spectrum. It was lighthearted, it was funny, it was well acted, it was everything. And I laughed a lot. So the scene that's really funny, and it should be silly. It really, really should be silly. But at some point, it just grabbed me and it made me laugh. It was the shootout that happens in the game with finger guns. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's so dumb.
Exactly. It should be dumb. It really, really should be dumb. And at some point, even when it started, I was just like, "This is wow."
There's so
now
many
we're going-
guns in
Yeah.
the world of Borderlands, and this is what
Exactly.
they decided to go with.
That was another thing about
That's
it. It's
brilliant.
like
That's genius.
it is. And like I said, the scene starts, and I'm just like, "Oh wow, this is kind of silly here." But it's actually longer than it really needs to be. But at some point, halfway through, I'm just dying. I'm like, I cannot believe this is what's happening here. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Tales of the Borderlands. That's my my pick.
When I first read this question, I honestly, when I read all of Sparrow's questions, I was like, what the fuck, man? Why you gotta make this so hard?
Good job, Sherwood.
You guys are ungrateful people.
Oh, Jesus. So, but eventually it hit me, and I gotta go with Borderlands 2. And
I love the Borderlands. Okay.
Claptrap may get a lot of hatred from people. I honestly don't know why. I find him absolutely hilarious. From the very beginning, when you start off with it and he calls you his minion and all this shit. But the moment that really killed me was when you are on your way to, I think it's when you're about to fight Handsome Jack, and he's like you're going to his base, and like Claptrap's talking all this shit, and like, I'm gonna do this and that, and like, and once you open the door, it's just stairs. And he goes like, oh no, it's my mortal enemy. No, it's just because it's stairs. He came up the stairs.
I know the fucking stairs.
And
Oh my
that
God.
shit killed me. But yeah, to me, it definitely is Borderlands 2. Even though the mechanics of that game are, but I mean, that moment was just hilarious.
Borderlands 2 shit. Man, what funny. I can think of one game that gave me so many good
Let me guess. Borderlands?
chuckles.
No, I'm just kidding.
No,
Borderlands 3?
Borderlands the original, right? No. No, Borderlands 3 is unfortunately incapable of being funny, sadly
Oh,
enough.
really? Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, yeah. Borderlands 2. I know. I honestly love Borderlands 2. I especially love, even though people see that as cheap laughs, the stupid internet memes, like when you get to a portion where you see the double rainbow and Claptrap stars mimicking the guy from the double rainbow meme from YouTube, where he goes, "Oh, double rainbow, what does it mean?" He's crying and all that. Uh,
Is this your funny moment?
no, no, no.
Oh,
It's
oh,
I'm talking about
okay. Sorry.
adding to what Chaos was saying.
Oh, okay.
Uh, no. My
Claptrap's the best.
crab tag is the best, but you know what? It's to me. I gotta give it to my girl Glados. Uh, Portal
Mm.
and Portal 2
Ooh,
are
that's a good one.
some of the funniest shit I've heard while playing a game, where I actually have to stop and laugh. Some of the most clever shit. I unfortunately I can't remember of a great moment. I can remember of one moment in particular. One of the things where you pass us, one of her many traps. Uh, and she comes up, or I don't know if she's heard, or or an announcer. It says, "Great work." Because this message is pre-recorded, any observations related to your performance are speculation of our past. Please disregard, please disregard any undeserved compliment. And I thought that was so clever, and it has. I mean, that game is full of that. That ending, the song of the credits of both songs. You think, oh man, nothing's gonna be as special as the credits of Portal, of the original Portal, and then you finish Portal 2, and they fucking nailed it. And it's such a wonderful, funny moment actually, as well because of the lyrics.
Now,
And
oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were
uh,
done.
no, go ahead.
Oh, I never played Portal 2, but I have watched a lot of videos on it, and I mean that shit is hilarious. The thing that the GLaDOS tells you is just great.
Dude, dude, if
He's
you
so
haven't,
mean.
this game completely 100% holds up to this day. If you get the opportunity to to get it, even if passing on a Steam sale or something like that, I will wholeheartedly guarantee that you will have a good time with it. I mean, this. I think it's be no surprise. This is one of my favorite games of all time. Too, so much that Jason made a meme of me and GLaDOS. Actually, he made
Yeah,
a many memes.
Oh
many
yeah.
memes indeed.
Many memes have been done. Shit, I had
Nice.
another one, and I was gonna say, and it completely blanked out. And
Don't
Sorry, you
worry.
only needed one.
We have plenty of questions to get through, so
yeah,
don't worry about it. This next question here is from Eric Root, and he asks, "How successful will Godfall be as a whole, and when will we finally get Grand Blue Fantasy Relink?"
what the fuck is
Interesting.
Godfall?
I was gonna say, does anybody? You guys know what God? Because I'm about to like Google that shit.
I think I know what
Godfall is
Godfall.
Godfall is actually the first PlayStation 5 game that
Mhm.
was
Oh,
shown
that
and
look epic as
released.
shit as fuck. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
And
it,
like if I'm not mistaken, it's a looter shooter or looter. But I don't think it's a shooter. So
I
I
don't.
guess a looter. Oh, looter slasher. Yeah, it's
Okay.
yeah. Well, it's because there's no guns, so it's all about slashing. Um,
Oh, there will be guns.
yeah.
We'll see.
It's considered an actual role playing game.
yeah, yeah.
What the hell is this game? It's
No, no, no.
considered
I'm reading this.
dating
I'm
sim
reading
match
this.
3.
I'm reading this from
The
Wikipedia. So
it's well, actually, I'm actually on their site, godfall.com.
Well,
Uh,
actually, I'm looking at their trailer on YouTube. So there you go.
I remember seeing this, and it looks like it's instead of guns, you have melee weapons, and it looks very Destiny-ish, a little bit, with all the
so
armor
it's
and all
like
the weird armor.
it's like a
I'm not
mix of. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of does look like a mix between Warframe and Destiny, minus all the guns.
Yeah,
Minus all the
yeah.
guns. Yeah,
I can
exactly.
see that. I can see that.
So, will
And
it be
how suc
successful?
right?
Is the question.
Well, I'm just
Well,
gonna
how
say
successful?
that it'll depend on the content and the lore and the. I mean, how well they implement the lore with the story and the content, especially the end game content, which honestly for any ongoing game like this is the most important, or not the, but one of the most important parts, because once you get to max level, what do? You need content for endgame. If you don't have that endgame content, you're not gonna get anywhere.
I agree. This is an exclusive for PlayStation, so it's already limited as to where
And
it's going
PC.
to be. Oh, PC as well. Oh, okay. Well,
Hmm.
there you go. PC market as well.
So they could have a
Um,
crossplay between PC and.
this is an Epic's. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah. Okay, it's coming to Epic Game Store as well. You're right.
Yeah.
Gearbox Publishing.
Well, they're publishing, not developing.
I know,
All
but
right.
just the stain of, just
Everything
saying.
else that is not
Yeah,
Borderlands. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Honestly, I think I agree. It's going to depend on the player base, and they have to be able to get the player base over. If there's one thing that Destiny has that's awesome, it's its shooting. If there's one thing that Warframe has is awesome, the gameplay and everything, it works well. And oh, by the way, it's also free to get into. So it's got to have a hook.
So
Is it?
And if
basically, well, because let's not just a hook. Because Anthem had a good hook. That flying was amazing, but it failed on everything else.
yeah, but that flying
Yeah.
was not that amazing. The problem with the flying was you couldn't fly all the time. You know what I mean? You were
Yeah.
limited as to what you can fly, and it was just like, why? Iron Man can fly all the time. Why
I
can't
mean,
I fly all the
let,
time?
it was very limited. Barred that, I think it would have been and obviously having a lot of content. I know what Chaos is trying to say, and that is that you have a good hook. That doesn't guarantee you anything. But if you have a good hook and a decent game to back it up, then you can make this successful.
Then you
And I
should
think
be fine.
yeah, you should be fine. Yeah, and I think we should just man the fuck up and answer the question as he's asking. He's asking, "Do you think it's gonna be successful?
No, he's saying
Yes
he
or
asked
no?
how successful. How
How
successful will Godfall
successful?
be as a whole?
I think
I'd
I
say
think
it's
it's
gonna.
gonna. Yeah,
Go
there
ahead.
you go. No, you good. Okay,
Okay,
I
so
can I
good.
can I can tell you. Fuck. I think it'll be very successful. I don't and not that I have any faith in like Gearbox or anything like that, but seeing what it looks so far, it already has enough to attract the attention of people. Just like Anthem did. And by that alone, I can see it having very decent first week sales. Of course, as people discovered, if the game, let's say it doesn't deliver and it's bullshit, then it's gonna fall down flat. But I'm not gonna say that it depends. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a little successful. I think they got something here. It looks cool. If I were to bet, I'll probably be all in. And yes,
Okay,
it's gonna be their next franchise.
I'm gonna throw my prediction.
There
Judging
you go.
it by what I've seen, I'm gonna say it's gonna hit like medium success.
Okay.
Mainly because of the attraction that people have to like shooting guns, and since there's a lack of it here, it's not going to be as big as Destiny. Just to pick up, but I
Mm.
mean, let's be real, Destiny's still being successful to this day. If it's considered that it's
Sure.
still alive, and it's not like nobody's talking about the
No, no, no. They're
demise
doing
of
very well.
Destiny, right?
By,
Right.
by all means, yeah.
So we're gonna use that. So I don't think it's gonna hit Destiny levels in any way, but I believe it'll hit that medium success that it will keep it going for hopefully a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So medium well. Medium well.
I'm
yeah,
gonna
pretty
be
much.
the voice of opposition and say that it's just going to crash and burn.
Oh
Yep.
shit!
That's my
Wow.
that's my
It's
thoughts.
just gonna be another Anthem.
It's gonna be yeah, maybe even worse.
Wow.
If it's possible,
Wow.
that's where I'm going with. Why? Honestly, one, you already have those communities, right? The whole problem with these games, you have to kind of pull those people away from the communities. You already have those communities, and those communities, by the way, are each and every one of them are moving over to the next gen, so they already have their player base in there. So you got to already
Mhm.
try to do that with something that's unproven. It's only going to be on PlayStation.
And
God
PC.
knows,
NPC.
and PC. Sorry. As far as consoles go, it's already, what I mean. It's just, it doesn't. One, it got mentioned before, and even all three of us had to go, what was that game again? Hold on, let me look. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not like in anybody's except for Eric Root, obviously. He's always
Apparently.
questioning. Yeah. So I don't
He
know.
was a
I
fan of
just feel
Anthem at first.
May I offer a
yeah, true,
counterpoint to
yeah.
yours right there, especially when you're talking about the platform that's going to be available on?
Mhm.
Yes, I was gonna say like, dude, I think you're making a point for the reason why it will be successful because it's going to.
Warframe was not available on Xbox for a long time until later on. First it was just PS4 and PC.
And PC. Yeah, true.
Just
But
saying.
it's also free. So
True.
the entry point is a little easier. So
True.
unless this suddenly becomes a free to play game, you know what I mean? It's like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I
This
don't
game
know.
has the this game at least so far they have the graphical chops, and I'm not saying obviously that's not everything, but that is enough to captivate the casual crowd, that will look at it and be like, oh no, but look, it looks awesome. You throw in a decent marketing on this, and the fact that there aren't really gonna be that many communities, on the next gen console. If anything, on the next gen console at first, I'm not saying this is going to be a launch title either, but it should be around maybe the first year. There's not going to be that many games that will take advantage. That other people can migrate to. They're going to look at this, be like, oh yeah, it's kind of like a Destiny and type of game, and I'm kind of super mega tired of Destiny. And also Destiny looks like last generation. Let me jump to this one.
Maybe,
So
Well,
maybe.
only time will
Uh,
tell.
True that. The second
only
part of his
time will show that
question
I'm right.
is, when will we finally get Grand Blue Fantasy Relink?
What the fuck
Unfortunately,
is going
this is.
That's
I
some
had to look it
Kingdom
up because
Hearts level shit right
I
there.
really don't know. It looks like it's a Monster Hunter type of game, but it is not expected until late 2020. And of course, with everything going on with COVID, that may be delayed. But they did say that they do not want to mention a date until they're very close to it to avoid any public delays. So that answers that part of that
And that
question.
question, is, when do we think that it's gonna come out?
Yes, when will we finally get Grand Blue Fantasy Relink?
I'm sorry, I don't even know what that is.
October.
Oh, that's the date? So it
It's
is
gonna be
solidified. October?
no. I'm just he
Oh,
asked. He's
Are
asking when do
you
you think?
serious?
I'm saying
gotcha.
October.
All right. Well,
I'm
then
giving my
I'll
date.
go. I'm gonna go with November.
All right, fuck it. I'll say January 2021.
There you go.
You're contradicting the developers right now, which
Well
means
done,
that
sir.
you're right.
Well, he's expecting the delay, which, yeah, that's
Exactly.
probably the right one. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
Chaos is
Uh,
the only one right now. Right now.
Going back to Sparrow Wolf, what is the name of that game? No matter what, no matter how long it has been since you played it last, or far away you are, it makes you feel right at home. Uh, I gotta go with Super Mario World, or
Super
Super
Mario
Mario Brothers
World.
3, one of the two. It's a toss up. I can always just kind of go back into it, and it's just, yeah, makes me
Make you
feel like
feel.
at
Mhm.
home, right at home. Makes me feel like I'm back in my apartment in the Bronx with my mom and my sister, and I'm playing the
Well,
Nintendo, and it's good
sometimes you
stuff.
want to go where everybody knows your name.
Exactly.
They're always glad you came. Yeah. Oh man. So what? Chaos, you want to take this one over?
Sure. I mean, I have two, and both of them. Dream is gonna love both of them
Oh, I know. I already know.
because I can't stop talking about these games. But the first one is Final Fantasy 14.
Nice.
There
It
it
doesn't
is.
matter. It doesn't matter how many hiatus I take or whatever happens that I'm not playing at the moment. Once I go back, I grab my character. I have like the skills already set up on the button set. I already know. I immediately know the flow of the combos and the moves that I have to do. Unless they've done some kind of update where they uprooted everything, which they did once to some characters, it wasn't something that threw me off completely. It was easy to pick it up again because I already had an idea. Like I had the base of it, right? So right now I haven't played in probably like 3 or 4 months, maybe more months. I always say that word wrong. And I'm certain that when I go back, which I will, because I really do want to, I'm not gonna have a problem with it. I'm gonna pick up my Dark Knight or my Monk, and I'm just gonna go ham on whatever, and it's gonna be as if I had never stopped playing it. The same goes for Warframe. And yes, it is a super complicated game, but I already know these systems. I look at them and I'm like, yes, I know what I have to do. Do I gotta go get crack open relics? I know what I have to do. Like, do I want a certain rarity from this, an item of a certain rarity from this relic? I know how to improve the odds of it. Again, unless they do a major overhaul of the systems, I go back and I know what I have to do. Honestly, when they changed the relics, that threw me off for a bit. That took me a moment to get used to it, but it wasn't anything that stopped me from playing the game. And honestly, other than that, the control of the character, I had no problems. The way that you you run and you jump, that you do the long jumps or the high jumps, the aiming and shooting, like that still feels natural to me.
Okay. Well, I.
That's one. What's the other one?
Oh yeah, that's right.
I said both of them, 514.
Yeah,
and
he said both.
Oh,
Yeah,
he did. Oh, okay.
yeah.
I
The
missed
hell
Were
it.
you not
doing,
listening?
bro?
Final,
Pay
Final
attention.
Fantasy 14 had me. Okay.
You
Wow.
tuned out.
Not just dream. Great.
It happens. I completely understand.
It
I
happens to
understand.
Dream all the time whenever he talks about video cards and shit like that.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, that would be my answer. The GTX. No.
That makes you feel at home.
Um. Yeah, man. I don't have. I love video games. Obviously, I don't have the affinity to go back to any of them. I can't think of any game that I will I will say I go back to and it'll give me the feels or anything like that. Because honestly, I have games that are my favorite games, sure, but I
All
kind
right.
of like play them once and I'm done.
Let me see, because maybe we understood this question differently. Because
Hmm.
I feel like it's no matter how long it's been since you last played it, you go back to it and it still feels like you never stopped playing it. So let's say, like, if you were to pick up Grand Theft Auto 5 right now, would you have to like warm up to it? Would you have to like remember all the buttons and shit again, or would you be able to pick up the controller
I
and just
always
immediately hit the ground running?
no, I always have to look at the layout first to remember where the hell everything is at. In general,
I think the
that's
closest
just for
game.
anything.
Yeah, I think the closest game that Dream Twister would have that would fall into this
Neo?
would be the Division.
Oh,
Because you went away from it for a little bit and you came back and it was like, oh yes, this is good stuff, and then you were in it for a while again. I really think that's the closest. That maybe not fitting to the question itself, but I think it was the closest game that may kind of fit the bill. What do you think? No,
I don't
am I way
know.
off?
No, I mean in the sense that because even though that's true, that could be true of a lot of other games. When I was the way I interpreted the question was like you go back to this game and it does it makes you feel something whether it's nostalgia or you can still have fun even though it's an older title or that's the way I interpret it. If it's a game that I can just pick up and play, it'll have to be something kind of
Small,
a
quick,
Halo.
easy.
You know what? Halo. I know where everything. Well, actually, that's not true, guys. I still need to check where the fucking grenades are put this time.
fucking Sparrow and his questions.
But but yeah, I don't like.
Okay.
I even the game that I love the most, I'll still be like, okay, I'm done with it.
I'm done
But
and move on.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Fair enough. Next question here comes from David Gomez, aka. Well, he doesn't. I don't know what his gamer tag is. Anyway, his question is:
Fail.
any word on the PlayStation 5 release date or what it actually even looks like? No.
No.
Not a one.
Next.
There were rumors.
There were rumors. This
Yeah,
is
there were
true.
rumors because and that's one of the news pieces that we just decided not to bring because it was kind of non-news really. Uh, there were rumors that because there was a job posting, uh, that this that somewhere in the job posting described to get ready for the release of PlayStation 5 in October. Of course, this is not the exact wording, but it did mention release day of October. Everybody immediately started speculating that so that's what they're hitting, that's what they're targeting. However, as recent as I believe yesterday, Sony jumped in and denied that was the case, which usually I would say, oh, that's BS. They're probably, they messed up, and it's definitely gonna be October. Except that if they would have responded with, we don't comment on rumors or speculation,
Yeah, then that's
then
usually
I
the
would have been
response.
like, okay, wink, wink. But if they say flat out like, nope, it's not October, then
So no.
So
yeah,
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 unfortunately, Mr. Gomez, we don't know. But believe
no.
me, you'll be the first to know when we do.
We're definitely paying attention.
Yes, for
Yeah,
sure.
yes, more to
Uh,
come. We'll definitely know.
yes. Next question. Going back to Sparrow Wolf, which game that through it all
Oh
was
god.
great through and through, but left you with a disappointing ending?
Oh my
Uh,
God.
go ahead, sir.
So
I think you
many.
have one.
No, 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 I don't.
Oh,
But there's so fucking many.
oh,
Yes. No,
wow.
no, you
Okay.
go ahead.
Uh,
This happens a lot and constantly and all the time, and yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
really? Okay, that's interesting.
This happens all the time.
The only one that the only one that comes to mind for me is the one ending that I hated my entire life, and I have to go way back for this one. So this was the Karate Kid on the NES, guys.
Holy
Uh,
shit balls.
yes. This game, it was first off, it was a challenging game, as most games from the NES era was. But I love the Karate Kid. I love this game. It was a really cool side scrolling action game. And so I'm not sure if it was around the time, but near the time of games that had a decent ending. This literally had, after all the struggles of fucking trying to beat this stupid game, literally had a screen with Miyagi's face saying "Thank you for playing." That was my
Con-
ending.
Congratulations.
Exactly. And I was like, "What kind of bullshit is this?" And so, yeah, that was an extremely disappointing and to date, and this is not a lie. You can look it up. Look up the actual ending. It is a shit ending. Um, to me anyway.
Yes.
I was just like I was expecting something, a cutscene, even though whatever the cutscenes could be back in the day, anything. But no, it's just you beat the guy. It literally cuts to the screen. Thank you for playing. And it was like,
Thank you for
what
playing.
the fuck? Okay.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, so honestly, I just went around my office looking at my video game collection to find something because I was not gonna rack my brain over this shit. God damn, why you gotta be so specific about the whole fucking thing? So I came
I
up
like
with
it.
one, and this was changed later on because DLCs are a thing. But the first time I played through it, Fallout 3, right?
Oh wow.
I
Did not
I
expect that one.
love Fallout 3. It was great, and I got my companions. I got the super mutant who's immune to radiation. This dude is a beast, like right? Okay. So we get to the end where you have to sacrifice yourself by going into this irradiated room to press a button. And I turn around like, "Ugh, I got this. I got this figured out. Right? I don't have to kill myself. I got a creature here. I have my super mutant here that's immune to radiation that can do this for me. Well, this dude has the balls to look at me and say, like, no. This is your moment, and I'm not going to rob you of it. Go. Excuse me, sir? I should blow you right now with a fucking fat man.
With fucking
That
So
is
you're
hilarious.
telling
Holy
me
shit.
that I have no way of, like, you're immune to radiation? Just press the fucking button, dude. Nope. You are the hero of this story. Go forward and onward. God damn it.
Yeah, you know what? I have to agree with you. Most of those, like, you spent so many hours on those Bethesda games, and most recently, uh uh
Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds. Yeah,
Mhm.
you spent so much time to get a fucking slideshow of an ending. It's like, and in this town, this happened, and in this town, this happened, which would have been an interesting way to end the game if it wasn't for the fact that they do it so boring, so poorly. It's like, oh, come on. Fortunately, I do have at least three that come to mind uh, that were disappointing to me. One of them, well, and mind you, Mad Dog.
Mhm.
You know, I love you like a bro. And
Mhm.
this is in no way an attack to you, all right?
Oh,
But
Sure.
it's
I have
gonna
to
be
say it.
good.
Mhm.
Bioshock, the original Bioshock, had an amazing ending. Had an amazing ending, but
No, it didn't.
somehow they didn't know where, so they kind
It
of
did
fucked
not
it
have
up.
amazing ending. No, I know what you're trying to say, and I get
Yeah,
it, but the fact is, it never ended there. There's no
yeah.
version that it ended there, so
No,
it just
no.
didn't
You
have a
can
good
make it.
ending. Yeah.
You can make it be the end if you just drop the controller, turn off the console, be like, well, I'm done, or go to
That's
the
the end of
menu.
this game.
Yeah, go to the menu and press the button to see the credits. I'm sure there is on the it's on the menu somewhere. No, the game just didn't know where to end. And even when it got to what they fashioned be the ending, it almost amounted to congratulations, you finished the game. Well, not quite, because you get like 15 seconds of a short cutscene and no credits, no nothing, just like thrown back to the title screen. Like, like I thought this whole thing was special, you know, from beginning to almost the end, and you kind of like botched it at the last minute, at the last part. Like it went, I don't know. So Bioshock, hell of a game, very disappointing.
It's a good
Ending.
choice. I got no problem with
Uh,
The radiation immune super mutant left me to die.
yeah, I'm not denying. Yeah, that game was bullshit. I'm not gonna deny. And of course, we can deliberate. People could talk about what's the other one? Oh, of course, shit. Halo 2.
Yep.
Another amazing game from start to finish, and then the ending was the stupidest shit. Which I guess in retrospect, I didn't know how shit it was. Maybe because it left me in shock. Uh, it makes no sense. You're talking to the freaking plant from Little Shops of Horrors, at the end, like literally, and everything's a cutscene, and then well, finish the fight in Halo 3 whenever it comes in 11 years later,
it.
whatever. So yeah, and the last one, again, I'm so sorry, sir. The Witcher 3. Uh, I'm
You
so
mean your
sorry because
ending?
I know you think, I know you're probably thinking like, motherfucker picked up my favorite games just
No,
to
no,
shit
not
all
at
over them.
all. Not at
Uh,
all. Not at all. That was
but
that was technically you and I share the same exact ending. But
yes,
there are other ones that are probably better. Even though this was technically the bad ending that we got, I still think it was a nice ending. The fact that that it still had a huge scene afterwards. But go ahead, go ahead.
it does. And to be fair, of the three of offenses, I guess this is the least one. This is the one that it could still be considered. Hell, it can still be considered good if it wasn't for the fact that I spent so much time in this world, so much time in this game, and I was trying to be careful on the decisions I made. I believe at one point I say, Mad Dog, don't spoil it, but at least let guide me a little bit to make sure that we don't get the same ending, because I wanted to have something to talk about. Nope, nope, nope. Our decisions led us to the exact same ending, And then when I read the other, the other endings, it, the you think that you have to make that you have to make branching choices that will lead you to the better endings, but no, no, it was the equivalent of, did you pick up that rock? If you picked up that rock when you were in this part, then you're gonna have the better ending because whatever. It was like something inconsequential. That's what's gonna cause the better ending. It's like, what the fuck? It was almost that. I'm exaggerating, of course, but you know what I mean. It's
Yeah,
like
I got you.
instead of being something like super branching and it's because this led to this, that led to this, as everything else in The Witcher lead you to believe. It was literally black and white. Like, well, if at this point you responded angrily to or not supportive towards this person, you're gonna get like a completely different ending. It's like, what the hell? Anyway, those are
Fair
my
enough.
three.
Fair enough. All right, next question. We're gonna go back to Eric Root. He asks, "Will PS5 outsell Xbox or XQPC Tower thing?" Is actually what he wrote there. Um, I think it's difficult to say. I don't know. I don't
I
know because I honestly, just from the momentum that Sony currently has, I think it will, or at least it
Maybe
will start off
initially.
that way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
initially,
exactly. At least
Yeah.
initially, yeah. Does that matter later on? Because later on, if once Xbox starts churning out their first party games, who knows? It's anybody's guess at that point. And they already have so much goodwill with Game Pass and all the other stuff they have going on. So I don't know, but I think initially, at least the first year or maybe 2 years,
Ooh, I
yes.
think you're being
I
way too optimistic there.
the What do you mean?
really.
Yeah, I don't think that it would hold that a lead or a significant lead at least for that long.
I do. They don't even have. They've already admitted that they're not going to have. This is Xbox, Microsoft. They're not going to have any of their first-party titles outside of Halo Infinite available at launch for at least 18 months. So yeah, 18
I
months,
love
no
I love this.
exclusives.
I love this this discussion. It's actually interestingly divided because you said that they could be having a lead, a temporary lead,
Temporary. Oh, I'm
uh,
sure.
yeah. Um, Chaos says, I don't think it's gonna take that long. Uh, I think PS. I'm sorry, I am very sorry for what I'm about to say,
You
but
have nothing to be
I
sorry
think
for.
I think PS5 already won.
What?
Wow.
Because of the controller?
Nope. No, 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 no. I'm
Okay.
not being facetious. I'm not being facetious. Listen now. Listen now.
Mhm.
So, so the if we go back, if we check history, we learn that the PS2 destroyed whatever Xbox was doing, which was their first console. Whatever, it was fine. Xbox 360 came and took an advantage because for the most part, PS3 was ridiculously expensive. And it was at first, and it was hard to code, So obviously, it was having the effect where games were looking a lot, they were looking better on Xbox, and Xbox had a strong lineup of first party titles, and we could argue Sony has always had, that lineup, but at one point in the beginning, it was just Sony, and the third parties were not like. It took a little bit for them to grab the traction, on the console, and that's why that particular generation, even though at the very end, I think they Sony caught up, if
Oh yeah,
not
yeah,
got close
yeah.
enough,
No, it caught
but
up and surpassed it. Yeah.
it was at the very end,
Hmm. Didn't matter
uh,
by then.
and yeah, the the fault of Xbox was the stupid TV bullshit completely, like almost obliterated obliterate their
So you think
brand
that
in the
cost
eyes
them
of
two
gamers.
generations?
Huh?
You think that will cost them two generations?
I I honestly think that, well, not because of the TV right now, is that is the fact that the TV converted so many Xbox people to PlayStation, so many fans to PlayStation, and PlayStation, the brand, grew up so much as the gamers choice. Whether when Xbox kept struggling, they released a new Xbox in this generation, and it's the inferior machine, And by the time they release the Xbox X, or the Xbox, the mid
Xbox One
tier
X.
Xbox One X, yes, it was too late. Nobody cared because the games were not coming, and then the games that so the narrative of Xbox had been one of trying to repair the damage of the era of
So you're saying
without
that
Matrix era. So
they're not even this next generation.
even this next one, I
Mhm.
don't think because just look at the group. All you have to do is just look at the reaction in the group itself. Not that the group is a huge, like example, but you you post something about Xbox, it gets no traction. Doesn't matter if it's like the next generation, most powerful console. Games are being announced. They're coming, guys. You could have. I mean, fuck. They're giving you almost free games on Game Pass. I mean, not free because you have Game Pass, but they're even with that thing of Game Pass, which is a ludicrous, idea, and it doesn't get traction. The moment you post some shit about PlayStation 5, the engagement is like immediate. Everybody is there. Everybody is more excited about the PlayStation 5. So therefore, I do believe that those numbers, when I release day, those numbers are gonna be exponentially higher on PlayStation, unless unless this is a determinant, they fuck it up with the pricing.
PlayStation fucks it up themselves.
Yes, if they fuck it up themselves, if they get back to 599 US dollars, then they're fucking dead. Because at that point, it's
I think
just
we have
gonna
a
look
lot
like
of
a
questions
PS3 thing
here.
again.
I
I
think
don't think that will happen. However, I don't think that that will happen. I feel like at this point they have enough generations of seeing the back and forth. Microsoft are learning about the TV mistakes, and Sony about learning about the 599 US dollar mistakes to where they probably won't repeat the same
The
mistakes
errors,
again.
the same mistakes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we have enough questions to do like three different podcasts like this.
Hey, if we have to
We
divide it, I don't mind. If we need to make a part three, hey.
all right. Well, let's see how far we get into. We're only what? Only 44 minutes into the segment, so let's see what else we can fit in here real quick. This was his. Okay, so we'll go back here. Back to Sparrow Wolf. Uh, do you you don't have to go into details. Has a video game? This is probably an easy question. Has a video game ever made you cry? If so, what title?
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
I don't think I've ever cried
Oh,
at
I
a
did.
game, but I definitely got misty eyed. And there's one game that really misty eyed me, and that was Walking Dead Season 1. That game
Oh,
at
so
the
much.
end really broke me down. I just was not expecting it. Um, although I should have. I mean, if you just know the series and you kind of just know what happens generally, um, yeah, that one definitely caught me off guard because I was so invested in a relationship that when it suddenly stopped, um, for whatever reason, obviously I'm not gonna go into details here, even though the game is old, but I'm not really gonna go into spoilers. But once it finally got to that point, it was just like, oh fuck, and it's just like, dear Lord, I can't believe what's about to happen here, and it's just like it's serious. It was good stuff. I mean, overall, that's why I still call it Telltale's. That's really the reason why Telltale became the company that they were at some point with all these properties and games they were making because
Funny
of that one season.
for everything that we uh talked about Telltale, how they they pretty much just auto destroyed themselves. They created the game that made you laugh and the game that made
Mhm.
you cry,
Yeah.
or that make you misty eyed. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what game I see on those lists usually? Believe it or not, Undertale.
I don't know
Undertale
why.
is well because you never find out because you never beat it. So
I can
I guess
tell you at the 6 hour mark that I am nowhere invested in anything what's going on. That I would still get to the end, and I'm pretty sure I'm like it might
it
as
fall
it
flat.
might as well give me the thanks for playing.
It will
I'm
find
like, I mean, it might as well give me that.
the congratulations.
Yeah, the
I
congratulations.
I have a game. Also this game I'm not one to deny when a game gives me misty eyed because of something special. It's usually not necessarily. Oh, well, it could be something that's happening on the screen and something with characters and all that. But
It
sometimes
better
it's
be
when
happening on the screen. Otherwise, what the hell are you crying to?
or something. It could be a this something that was made that was different that was powerful. Like to me, um, but this is not my game. It was the ending of oh god,
To the
Nier
moon.
Automata.
Oh,
The
Nier
ending of
Automata.
the ending of Shut up! You weren't even part of it at
I
the
was.
end. You
I'm
released the
just
control
no,
and you
no.
left.
I didn't mean that
So,
to sound any way bad. I was
oh,
just like,
okay.
I'm shocked that that's the game that you're coming. That's all. That's all.
No, but
I was like, of all the games,
that's not
really?
my
Oh,
game.
okay.
That's not my choice. But that is an example. Like Chaos was asking, like if it wasn't for the things that were happening to the character, like what is it? Like it doesn't necessarily have to be story. It could be something that is not part of the story, but because it was so beautifully. And I'm not gonna spoil it, unless you guys want me to on a second.
No.
On a, yeah,
No.
okay. so so yeah, that was special. But the the one that really actually like it really pulled my string. I mean, I'm not gonna die. I was done. I was done with this game. I was devastated. It was fucking. It was called To the Moon.
To the moon. I knew it.
Yes,
I knew
To
it.
the Moon
Okay.
is something else. You played To the Moon,
I did.
and I don't know how you felt about it, but that ending with that music, with what's happening, and the whole thing being pretty much 8-bit or 16-bit rendition characters. It's not like it's giving you like this beautifully graphic thing. No, it was just playing 8-bit or 16-bit graphics, like you will see from the top-down perspective almost. Uh, it did a lot with those limited graphics that a lot of games do with like high-end graphics and stuff like that. So yeah, To the Moon definitely if you want a tearjerker, that's the one to play.
All
And
right.
it's short. It's not even that long.
Hmm.
All right. I can't say that I played a lot of sad games. I mean, even though I did play one of the saddest moments in gaming, which is Final Fantasy VII when Aerith dies. I didn't cry then, but
Because you don't have a heart. No, I'm
no, I was more angry because my healer just got stabbed through the fucking stomach, and this motherfucker just flew off like a fairy. No.
kidding.
Spider Man, Marvel Spider Man.
Oh
Ooh,
yeah, that's
nice.
a good one.
That
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
game. First, it got me with the feels. Of course, we're not spoiling anything, but there was this one moment that just, oh, it broke my heart. Like
Yeah.
tears were rolling down my cheeks and shit. I was like, what? Why? But why?
Yeah, and you know it. You know you know it's happening
Oh,
because it
you see
only
it
makes
coming,
sense.
and beforehand, you
Yeah,
know the choice that's going to be made. Like you
dude,
know it
from the fucking beginning.
because it's
It's
Spider Man.
yes, exactly. It's like, dude, come on.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
But
It
oh
shouldn't
no,
catch you by surprise, and yet it still does. It should not get you.
it's not that it catches you by surprise. That you just it happens. You're like, fuck. Like I knew it. I saw it coming. Why did it have to? Why did I have to be right?
Why did it have to be right in this method? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a good one. That's a very good one.
That is a
All
very
right.
good one.
Next question from Ramiro Ortiz. He wants to hear us guys discuss/rant about the whole 60 frames per second situation coming to next gen.
Oh my
He also specifically asks, wants David Santos' feelings over the whole episode 9 script, even though this is per his words, quote, I still feel I can't trust him after his very controversial Dora the Explorer movie review.
What the hell did I say? I wasn't recommending it to
I
people.
don't know.
It probably said
you
like
did like it, and
I did
you
like
liked
it. Yeah,
you were a
I
little
can't deny it.
enthusiastic about it. Yeah, you were.
That
It was
was-
funny.
I'll
was like,
probably give it like
really?
a 7 if I had to.
I don't know if I don't think you gave it a score. I really don't think you
Oh.
gave it a score. I think it
But
was
shit,
all
then
just
there you go.
impressive.
There's the score. There's the score. It's
All
better.
right, so first up-
It was better
oh.
than he had than it deserved to be. I'll tell you that.
I will never know.
Uh,
So first off,
yes, please don't.
the 60 frame per second or the lack thereof on next gen. What
You
the hell, guys? Is all I have to
console
say.
Guys have been bamboozled for way too long, and I feel like I feel like yes, at this point there's outrage for like a split second, and then it's like, well, I guess that's what we're used to because we're console people, and that's that's the best it's got. At least it's 4K, and I feel, and I'm talking about that. I'm talking about in general, even the developers. I feel like the best way to market a game in their eyes is to have the eye candy, is to put 4K. Now that's a new thing. But have the best eye candy because the games need to look amazing, even if it runs like shit. And to be fair, I'm not saying 30 frames per second solid is it's fine, but right now
It's the
it's
bare
the
minimum.
minimum.
Yeah, it's the bare minimum.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
it's a-
issue with
it's-
it. I
Yes,
am
yes,
not a
yes.
frame rate guy, and I am not a resolution guy. Either or. I'm not. I don't. Most of the games, you guys know, I just play Town of Light, and I can tell you that the frame rate on that is not 30 for a lot of it. And I played the game through, and I still enjoy my time with it. I'd probably still give it a 6.5 in the end, but I still enjoy my time with it. So
That would trigger
obviously,
me to
those
no
type
end.
those two things do not affect me when it comes to gaming. However, when it comes to AAA games, when it comes to the fact that you have 100+ team, 300 people on a team making this ridiculously uh you know big game with high budget and all this stuff, it is time to lock that down at 60 frames per second. There's just no excuse when there are games that do this already, that lock it down. I mean, every Call of Duty does this. It's
Yeah.
it's like every game from Kojima does this. It's just like
Kojima,
these
yeah, I
are
was gonna say.
So these games, I was like, it can be done. You just need to let go of some of that resolution. It does not need to be 4K. You know what I'm saying? It's like this. I mean, if it's still 1080 or somewhere between 1080 and 4K, believe me, the resolution is going to still look good. You know what I'm saying? But when you lock that down at 60 frames and that fluidity is there, I mean, it's beautiful. I'm the first one to say I don't need it, but it should already be the regular. It should already be just the default. It should already be the default. There's no
Frame-
excuse.
Frame
Um,
rate
There's no excuse.
is gameplay. Frame rate is gameplay. So if you're basically cutting in half the potential of your game, it doesn't become unplayable, but there's so much value, more value that you can gain from a game that runs at 60 as a solid 60 frame per second than a game that has 4K graphics. I will always take frame rate over graphic fidelity 1000%. That's not even a question.
Okay. KX.
Chaos, you were gonna say something.
honestly, I don't have much to say.
He doesn't give a shit.
No, it's not that I don't give a shit.
I
I
know.
mean, honestly, my opinion is very much like yours, Mad Dog. I've never been a frame rate guy up until very recently. And even then, it's not that I'm a frame rate guy. It's just I understand it now. Much less of resolution. It's, but I do appreciate a 60 frames per second game. And I can see the difference, especially when I started working on the video game design. Like we were working on very basic shit. Like it was like 24 frame rates or less. I don't remember right now how much it was that we were doing. But it wasn't even 30. And yeah, it's a lot more work, but it looks so much better.
It's more work because you got to tighten the code. You got to do more
Yeah,
work to be able to run in the
the
target
transitions,
hardware.
the transitions between animations, the shit has to be perfect.
Yeah,
It
because it
can't
shows.
look janky, it can't look weird. It has to be just right. And sure, again, it is more work for the developers, but like Matt Dog said, this AAA companies that definitely have the resources to do it. Why is it not a standard?
Because their
Mhm.
eyes on the wrong thing. Their eyes are
Right.
on, oh, we need to go high resolution, and it's just like, no. Yes, if you want to do a still shot, then yes, please focus on resolution because it's a still shot. But if you're doing, if the game is in motion, clearly because most
Mhm.
games are, then yeah, you need to, what I'm saying, that's where you should be at. You should be looking at the frame rate, and it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make
And
sense that it has that we are now in this is not the f- this is we are now entering what generation 9 of gaming, and frame rate still isn't the focus. You know what I'm saying? It's like I just don't get it. I don't get it.
and yet there were games on PlayStation 2 and OG Xbox that had 60 frames per second, and they look they look well enough, and it made a difference because even if the graphics weren't like super mega high end, although I will argue that some of the graphics on Metal Gear Solid 2 looked amazing, and I know that was not 60 locked. Also Ninja Gaiden on OG Xbox. I know that wasn't 60 locked, but it goes to show that machines from three generations, four generations, or whatever back, they were able
We're doing it.
to achieve it. Yeah, they
Yeah,
were
they were
doing
doing
it.
it. Yeah.
All the machines that we have had since have are capable of doing it. It's just don't get so hungry with the freaking
Solution?
the
Resolution. Yeah.
resolutions and yeah and the graphic fidelity because that ain't all. That
It's
ain't
not.
everything.
It's not even.
Gameplay
Yeah.
gets
Not even
affected
close.
by that.
Gameplay is king, right? We say it all the time, and
Yes,
this
yeah, that's
affects
why
gameplay.
Nintendo,
Yeah.
a lot of Nintendo titles, like, including the Mario stuff, you see them running at 60.
Yeah. Actually, it was a shock that Link to the Past? No, not Link to the
Hmm.
Past. Link's Awakening, the most recent one. It was a shock. One of the first things people go, "Hey, this has, you know, dips in frame rate." It was like
Yeah,
this thing where people were like, "Why?" Because it's such a shocker because Nintendo
they don't do that.
religiously, yeah, exactly, does 60 frames.
Yeah,
And for the most part, it just has dips in the frame rate and noticeable dips. But the
play
rest
Super
of the
Mario
time, yeah.
Odyssey.
Yeah.
Super Mario Odyssey is an amazing feat for what the Switch can do. The fucking Switch is doing better graphics than the PlayStation 4 and Xbox whatever. And not literally because obviously it's not like they're doing like super shaders and like super textures and stuff like that, but it doesn't matter. They hide
Yeah,
it well enough because the gameplay is on fucking point.
every time. Real quick, we're just gonna have one more question after this, but I want to go. Do want to touch on Hermito's second part, which was the episode 9 script, Duel of the Fates. Mr. Santos, do you have
Oh
anything to say
yeah,
about this?
I have nothing
What
to say about that.
if I think in the sense of if I think it was legit or if I think it would have been awesome. Uh,
Take your pick, sir. He didn't really specify.
okay, so I don't think it was real. I mean, it was too perfect. I believe I called it an orgy of evidence showing that this thing was was just it's just fan wish after seeing what really happened. That said, if we would have gotten that as and I guess we're gonna have to repost so people can see what we're talking about. But if we can find the link. But if that would have been the true canon ending, I think it would have been great. I think it would have been awesome. I would have been very happy with that. The problem is that too many cooks had the hands in the
Too
freaking
many
pot.
cooks. Yeah.
It never had any direction. It was always like we'll just we'll just make it as I go. We'll make it as we go, and that's why it
Yeah.
failed, and that's why it never stuck the landing. And honest, when I say ruin, it doesn't mean they ruined the franchise. I don't mean it in the Star Wars is ruined because obviously the first the original movies are still gonna be what they are. It doesn't change the fact that those movies were awesome, right? It's just the fact that it soured the the pot. Like I don't want to know about Star Wars. Like I don't care about Star Wars, right now. That's why I don't care to fucking not even
I
watch The
actually,
Mandalorian or any of that shit coming. It's like who cares?
I have actually been weighing on writing my own little article on how Star Wars in general has been ruined. But I
Mm,
won't go into detail on that because I'm still formulating
that's a
my
that,
thoughts on it. It's a teaser.
yes,
We'll call that
that's
a
a
teaser
teaser.
because it's something
Coming
that
soon.
it's something that has been weighing on me for a little bit, particularly after the last Star Wars. But I
Wow.
think the destruction of okay, maybe destruction's a drastic word, but I think I'll just leave it at that. I just think that Star Wars in general has been ruined, not by one person, not by two
Mm.
people. I think it's just been little by little ruined.
Exposure?
Uh, no,
Like
uh,
overexposure? No.
no. I'll formulate my thoughts and give and probably post it on the group and probably get a lot of hate for it. So, last
No.
question is
Can't wait.
from Jose Maldonado, and he
Ooh.
goes with, "What are your guys' thoughts on the waves of remakes slash sequels that have been digging deep into our nostalgia?" I've played the hell out of Final Fantasy VII Remake and Streets of Rage 4, and now with the announcement of remastered Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, I'm happy camper. Are you guys okay with this wave, or is it just a cash in? Uh, that is an excellent
Wow, that's a
question
fucking
for the
awesome
record.
question.
Yeah, that is an excellent question.
All right, you
Well,
mind if I take this real quick?
by all means, sir.
Please.
Capcom gave us the best example of what a real remake should be and what a real cash-in remake is. In the
Mm.
Mm,
games of Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3.
nice. Okay.
Oh.
Right? Resident Evil 2 is said by a lot of people. I haven't finished it, but I have played it. It looks amazing, especially running on the RE engine.
Yeah.
And the game is there. It encompasses what the original was and gives you more, right? It has all this amazing graphics and the movement of the character has been updated and all that. And I'm not gonna talk about Mr. X here, but and it was amazing. And Capcom saw it, grabbed that shit, and ran with it. Right? They immediately did Resident Evil 3, and what happened? They fucked it up. Right? They it was such an obvious cash in where they cut content from the original, so you're already missing part of the original in your remake, and they changed other components of the story to better fit their own story.
Perhaps, yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
That is a cash in where you literally rushed this game out, called it a remake, and then just shipped it out to make the same amount or to try to make the same amount or more money that you made with RE2, which was done with, dare I say, with a certain love and respect for the original. The
They could have
third
taken
one,
their time, yeah.
right? This
Just
one,
like they did with two.
RE3 definitely lacked that. And you can see
Yeah.
it in the response from the fans and the reviews.
Yeah.
Am
Yeah.
I against it? No. If it's like RE2, no, I'm not. Again, Final Fantasy VII remake, I absolutely love that. Yes, I'm worried that any installment later on will not live up to the first one, but the very first one, I loved it. And a remake like this, I am all for it.
Nice.
Yeah. I was gonna share because I agree with you, Chaos. I think um, RE2 was a labor of love, that a labor of intense work and time, and Resident Evil 3. I don't doubt that it was a labor of love also, and but you definitely see what happens when you cut time a little bit. It seemed to have suffered. I can't say honestly because I didn't play the third installment. I played the second, and from what I from what I saw, that remake, even without having the original the experience of the original, that shit was amazing. That shit was, just call it Resident Evil. Just, I mean, it that this might as well be the original. uh I there was a time where the idea of I did not like the idea of remakes because I saw them as cheap
Cashin.
catch-ins. Yeah, yeah. It was, well, the idea was already there. The game's already made. All you gotta do is just pretty it up, right? And I did not like it. To some extent, I still feel that way, especially when you get something like Tony Hawk. Uh, but the difference is that, damn, I do want to play that game again. You know what I mean? It's not. I changed my tune as thinking of, well, I still think they're cash-ins. They work. Uh, like in the case of Tony Hawk, in the case of Resident Evil, I think they did fantastic. I mean, I think that the new a new generation could benefit from reliving those experiences, just like Square Enix did with Final Fantasy, also with Final Fantasy VII, and even more to the extent because it's like this could be for newcomers, but this is also for the old school because in a way this is sort of like a sequel, I guess we could call it. Anyway, uh, the thing with um, remakes that that I think I like now is, well, look at what else are we getting. Most of the stuff we're getting is just being tailored towards the type of games that I don't particularly enjoy, you know. So if it's between, well, let's remake the games that I liked in the past, or let's just give me more frigging Fortnite, or games like it. Then I'm just gonna choose for the remake because at least every now and then I'll get something like Capcom did, you know.
Yeah.
No.
So I'll just have the closing thoughts here. For the example of like Tony Hawk, 1 and 2. First off, I'm happy that fans of Tony Hawk will be able to play Tony Hawk 1 and 2. I don't have any connection to that particular series, but that is clearly a cash in, right?
Oh,
Because
without a doubt.
it's a remaster. It's been long enough. It's
That
been
franchise
pined
was
for.
dead.
Yeah, exactly.
This
It's
is
a
the
clear reason behind it because it's
yeah.
probably going to have every little bit of it's going to just be remastered to look a little bit better. Um, the remaster thing, I'm going to stick with it. It's just that's all it is. It's a cash grab, and yes, I think it is playing on our nostalgia for it, and it's clear because everybody's so excited about Tony Hawk 1 and 2. It's like they're not remaking Tony Hawk 1 and 2; they're just making it look,
really.
good
I thought it was.
and
I thought it was
re-release.
a remake.
No, it's a remaster. It's a
Oh,
remaster. Yeah.
But would you argue that there's a generation that haven't played those games and maybe this is the
then
best
why
time
not
to
make
get
it a
them in the
remake?
best way?
You're right. I would argue there is clearly a generation that didn't play for it, but that's not who they're banking on. You know what I mean? They're banking on the ones who knew about the game, and they're banking on those people who knew about the game to maybe mention it to people who never played it. Oh, hey,
Yeah.
look, they're making this game I told you about. Remember how many times I told you about Tony Hawk and how awesome it
Now
was,
you get the
dude?
chance to
They're
play
coming.
it.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, So they're banking on that, but
Oh,
in
for
in
sure.
itself, a remaster, while I'm not going to take away from any amount of work that goes behind making a game or even a remastering game, but I would obviously argue that a remaking of a game in the acts of Resident Evil 2 and yes, even 3 and Final Fantasy remake, remaking that game is far more laborious than
Hmm.
remastering a game that's already
Without
made.
a
You
doubt.
know what I mean?
Yep.
So so clearly that 1 point's already being a cash grab. We're going to use in a sense. So I have to agree that yes, I do things. And am I going to fall victim to it? Yes, I will, because it is what it is. Because I can tell you right now, as much as I hate EA, the moment they mention a Dead Space remaster,
Ooh, I'm jumping on that shit
I'm
so
going to be
fast.
jumping on that because I love Dead Space as much
Oh,
as I don't
that's
care for Dead
that's
Space 3.
that's
You know
what
what I mean?
it'll take, huh?
I mean,
Not,
that's the deal. That's how it is, right? That's what they're
you have
banking
never
on.
broken.
And
You never broke your EA
I
your
mean,
EA.
I mean, to be honest with you, I say that now. I still may hold off. I don't know, because I desperately,
I
I have
won't.
not
I
touched
won't.
anything EA at all. And there are games that are down to $5 on sales. And I'm like, man, A Way Out is available now for that amount. No,
I
I'm
can
not
stick it
doing
to
it because
them.
fuck EA.
I can
It's
stick it to them
exactly,
by
yeah, yeah.
buying this at five
So
dollars.
yeah. So yeah, I still think it's a cash in. Realistically, there's no doubt about it that that's what they're
Mm,
doing. Remakes,
mm, mm.
when they take their time to remake something, I think there's more love behind it. You know what I mean? It's not just a request from an executive. Hey guys, we're going to remaster this. No, we're going to take the time to really build this from the ground up. And
Mm.
Resident Evil 2 was a perfect example of that. So all right, guys,
Well,
that brings us to the end of an awesome episode 212 of GG's The Mouthful Podcast. Fear not, we will have a third part to this, apparently, part two, uh, um, for the rest of the questions that we have available, which I will
Part
part
two.
part
Part
two of
two.
part
part
two.
two,
Yeah,
two. We're being
yeah.
Square Enix about it, you know.
Yes, we are. Part 2.5 duodecim, birth by sleep.
Hey, you know what? If
The
you
fact that you
guys,
know all those names and those are the names of actual Kingdom Hearts games kind of scares me.
I know. I know.
if the people of the group wants to throw questions like that,
More
I don't
questions.
mind having
Absolutely.
this. Yeah, I don't mind
Yeah.
having this regular.
I will definitely post it again, and it will. I'll make it look a little different. Doesn't look, maybe it won't look like a remastered version. It'll maybe look like a remake version.
There you go.
And for the topic, and maybe I'll tag a few new people, see if we can garner a little interest from some of the other quiet folks out in the group. And so yeah, so don't worry. Those questions are still saved. They're still saved on the Google Doc. It's not going anywhere. Thanks again so much for tuning in, guys. As always, please go goodgame.rocks. Join the conversation. Tell all your friends to join there. And please, of course, like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. This is Mad Dog signing off for this week. Mr. Chaos Reaper.
God damn, I gotta go back and get those dresses for Cloud to get the damn platinum.
Of all the
That's when
menial
you
tasks of we're just saying.
work on a game rather than play a
I know.
game.
Exactly. When game becomes your job. Mr. David Santos, take us home.
No, so I just want to give a shout out to all the new members that have joined our group, and some of not so new members of the group, but they have actually starting speaking up and participating, and I just think
And
it's
welcome
awesome.
back, Joseph Ruiz. I'm just saying.
Oh my
Send
God,
that
yes,
picture of that
Joseph
super
Ruiz,
strange Xbox
bro.
logo.
Yes, for real.
X Xbox Supreme Chancellor. uh, yeah, definitely. No, I love the interactions that we've been having lately. There was a young lady recently that made a question uh, on the group about building her first PC. And I love the fact that there were a lot of people that shared their thoughts, and that thread is still actually going. I think that thread was started by Emily Rose Rivera. So definitely chime in if you can. Well, I think she's asking for directions on it. So obviously, if you're not a PCMR, then You don't need to apply. That's fine. But also shout out to
So I
our
shouldn't
uh,
I shouldn't troll it and say, "Hey,
no,
just buy a
just
PlayStation 4."
don't even. Yeah, I you know what? I regret even
I would not.
mentioning.
I would not do that. I would not do that.
There is definitely an influx of streamers on the group. Also, you should check them out. Obviously, we know the guys from Nivel Escondido. They're awesome. The Geeky Teacher, please visit him. He has some awesome programming. Uh, uh, Rafael Ortiz, that he
Hmm.
streams from time to time.
Rappy?
Our our very own Chaos Reaper, giving
Yes.
his streaming chops, showing
Holding it down on
now
GG's.
he is showing it as he sees it.
Nice.
I don't know
Nice.
if that's right. And then the rest of the group, Ivy Repart, and everybody else that Jason Fariello. Let me not forget mentioning him. My goodness.
It's okay. We
Definitely
don't have to.
check out the programming.
We don't feed
Huh?
the troll.
We don't feed the trolls. Oh, then never mind. I take it back.
Oh my goodness.
No, I love that dude. That's it.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you tuning in. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week.
I wonder what's inside your book. 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 Maybe there's astronauts, maybe there's aliens all inside your butthole. Maybe there's astronauts, maybe there's aliens all inside your butthole. I wonder what's inside your butthole. What's inside your butthole? I always wanna know. I wonder what's inside your butthole. What's inside your butthole? I always wanna know. What's inside your butthole? I always wanna know. I wonder what's inside your butthole. Maybe there's astronauts, maybe there's aliens all inside your butthole. I wonder what's inside your butthole. What's inside your butthole? I always wanna know. I wonder what's inside your butthole. What's inside your butthole? I always wanna know.